getting closer and closer, one day shy of another big round of NFL preseason, 11 games tomorrow night, and football season's here. Dave will be back tomorrow. We look forward to having him back today. Austin Eldridge in with me, and I'm glad to see you, Austin. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Brett. It's good to be back on with you, especially before football season. I was hoping we'd get one more shot before the football season got kicked off.
A lot to do over the next few days. I think I got the count wrong. 17 days until, if it's the 7th of August and college football starts the 24th, that means it's 17, right?
I think
I
so.
had the count wrong. 17 days until the start of college football. We don't want to cheat a day, do we?
No, the quicker it gets here, the better, in my opinion.
Miami and Florida on Saturday the 24th. One other game that day, Hawaii and Arizona. That'd be Kevin Sumlin with the Wildcats.
Yeah, and
Not Rich Rodriguez.
He needs a little bit of rebound, does old Kevin Sumlin does. And of course, Rich Rodriguez, we know where he is stationed currently. We'll see if he can do some work down in Oxford.
We do. We've got a lot of college football and NFL to talk about today. Baseball, also golf at 4 o'clock. John Goen will be in here to do our golf picks and talk with him from Timber Trust Golf Course down in Olive Branch. At 3:30, we'll visit with T.J. Reeves, sideline reporter for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll get some golf talk with him as well, as this year the FedEx Cup playoffs start. Just 3 weeks this year. The Boston stop was taken out for this year. It'll be back in next year at TPC Boston, but just 3 rounds of playoffs this year and a much earlier finish. If you'll remember, this week last year was the PGA Championship in St. Louis at Bellerive. Of course, this year it moved to May. I will miss the August major. I didn't mind. I don't think I mind how they did it this year, but it was pretty rapid fire Tiger Woods barely slipped on that green jacket. We were at the PGA Championship in New York at Bethpage Black. And
feels like a long time since he put that green jacket on now.
It does. It feels like a long time. And it's a big story of the year. He's going to make his return this week. He's got a little work to do to make sure he's in the Tour Championship in Atlanta. That's the top.
Didn't
30.
play a full practice round today either with the back stiffness again. So that's a little concerning, I would say.
Yeah, and I can't imagine it's cold at Liberty National.
Yeah, I mean, it is in the Northeast, but it's August. I mean, you wouldn't think it's going to be too cold even up there. The
back really went finicky on him the rest of the year after the Sunday win at Augusta National. We visit with T.J. Reeves at 3:30, John Goen at 4. At 4:30, you're going to give us your top college football games. We might go over a couple more of ours, repeat from yesterday. Drew and I did that yesterday, see how many we matched, how many late games in the year do you have without giving it away?
Without giving it away, I have, I define late, I guess, as what, after week 7 and beyond? Like, what did you define it as late?
November games.
November game. I have 2 games. I can tell you I have a game from week 7, a game from week 8, a game from week 10, a game from rivalry week. So I have several late games in there. But there's a lot of early games that I think are key too.
I did too. I had a couple of early games. I got a week 1 game.
I have several week 1 games.
And I had a couple of week 2, so I had Texas and LSU week 2 in there. So we'll do that at 5 o'clock. We'll talk college football about the Georgia Bulldogs. Big year for them. I would imagine you have some of their games. I did not have Notre Dame, Georgia.
I did not either. I'll give that away now. I don't have that in there.
That was probably a glaring omission for both of us. But
there's so many games to choose from that I feel like could be key games.
I do too.
And Notre Dame Georgia just wasn't one of those that I really felt was as important, I guess.
Patrick Garvin from the Rival site covering all things Bulldogs, author extraordinary as well about Georgia football. He will join us at 5 because a lot of pressure on Georgia this year.
Oh, I mean, really, since Kirby Smart got there hasn't been more pressure on him than this year because not only are you still trying to take down Alabama, now you have
two good cracks at them.
2 good cracks at him, but had got over that hump, and now Dan Mullen has had a chance to rejuvenate Florida a little bit, and they're supposed to compete over there on the eastern side as well. And now Missouri has Kelly Bryant, and Kentucky was better last year. I don't think they're going to really compete. But
Tennessee can't stay down.
Tennessee can't stay down that long. I mean, this is going to be the hardest year Kirby Smart has had.
And he may have missed the 2 golden opportunities, and he missed them. And with those heartbreaking losses, in sports, if you don't get those losses, you can accrue gamesmanship from it, experience from it, but you also can start racking up scar tissue.
Yes.
And the next time you play them, late in that game, you think, I don't know if we can ever beat them.
Yeah, and that is where you have to start to worry if you are a coach about fan support, and then what did you get hired for? Because why did Mark Richt get fired at Georgia?
Excellent
because
point.
Mark Richt had the exact same record as Kirby Smart with almost the exact same wins and results as Kirby Smart has.
If you laid the two
but
over,
couldn't get over that last hump.
And so and Kirby got hired to finally, to quit talking about Herschel and Buck Bellew.
Yeah.
And we're still talking about Herschel and Buck Bellew.
Yeah, and that is not why you go out and hire somebody, especially for the money they're paying Kirby Smart. They want those results, and
he's recruiting so well, and they have copy and paste. I mean, it's
has a Heisman contender
it's
quarterback.
Little Alabama. The whole organization, the whole setup is Little Bama.
But at some point, for Georgia fans, they expect to beat Bama every now and then. They don't expect to lose to them every year.
Yeah, and the two near misses, it can rack up the scar tissue at 5:30. Drew, I hope you've worked on this. I want yours as well. He has. I get the thumbs up. Thank you, Drew. Love the thumbs up.
You're welcome. No problem.
Drew's always on the ball.
I'm doing other things.
I mean, you're doing like 9 things at once. I know that too. Thank you. I had you on a wild goose hunt for 20.
Me and Drew this week, we're behind that. We're behind that board for 6 hours a day apiece this week. So we're doing
an excellent job.
We're doing a lot over there. So
at 5:30, we will do our top 12 NFL head coaches. Come on, please tell me, guys. Nobody's got anybody other than Belichick as one, do they?
I don't.
Might have to wait and find out.
Uh-oh.
But no, I don't.
I waited for you to take Brooks Koepka 2 weeks ago, or we wouldn't be in this condition.
I was doing what was best for business. How many times do I have to explain myself? I threw the pick.
You've convinced yourself of it.
I did it on purpose. I know what I did.
Dave will be back tomorrow, and we're going to let him fudge a little today, maybe.
Rules are rules, Brett.
I know, but it's close enough.
We fudged the rules for him all year.
We
set it at 80. He's picking the 78th guy. We set it at 60. He's picking
47.
56.
Yeah.
Well, now we set it at 40, and he can't even find a guy.
Is this the outside the world golf rankings grouping that he's supposed to pick somebody outside the top 40?
The shot pick that he's complained about all year, hadn't he?
Well, I did overhear yesterday. I was listening to you guys a little bit. When I was driving yesterday evening, and I did hear you guys discussing whether or not.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I enjoy your show.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
we enjoy bringing it to you every afternoon.
Glad to have you.
I did overhear you guys discussing whether or not I would purposefully sabotage Dave's pick today.
No, we knew you would, and Dave knows you won't. No saboteurs. We're not going to allow that. We're not just going to raw cheat him, are we?
How about we just say I'll keep the names this week, and my hand might slip. I might write down the wrong person.
So we got a lot in store for you today. We're in our Family Leisure studios celebrating. We're celebrating Family Leisure celebrating the end of summer with the end of summer liquidation sale. Sounds like we need deep announcer voice with the end of summer sale. We need something strong from that. Pools as low as $19.99. Patio furniture starts at $12.99. That is a great deal. Swim spas beginning at $9.99. There's still enough summer left to enjoy great deals during the end of summer liquidation sale at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. We appreciate you at Family Leisure very, very much. Go see them for that great end of summer sale where family and fun come together at Family Leisure. Austin, the Cardinals are just so mismatched against the Dodgers. I know right now, still zip, but the last 2 nights, Michaelis was pretty good last night.
Which is rare, unfortunately, this season.
Kershaw was better. The Dodgers are that much better. The Dodgers' magic number to win the National League West, sitting here on August 7, it's 33.
Isn't that something? I mean, they are just...
So any combination of 33, I think the Dodgers are good for winning 16 more, don't you?
Oh,
and
no doubt.
I think the team behind them is good for losing 17 more.
Yeah,
right?
I don't see any possible way, barring literally all 9 of the starting 9 get hurt.
Now, help me. I went to public school, so help me. And I went to great public schools, but help me out here. I love Mark Teixeira. Mark Teixeira with MLB Network and ESPN. And this morning I saw him on ESPN, and I heard him say he thought Houston, he thought the classification for baseball was 1. He said he thought Houston was a 1A team. And then he listed, he He said the Dodgers 1, the Yankees 2, and then Houston. Wouldn't that be 2A?
Yeah, I don't see how you could say Houston's a 1A team and then put them third on your list.
At minimum, that'd be listed 2A, wouldn't it?
And that'd be 2A, and
then the next team would be fourth, right?
With the pitching that they have now, you got to put them at the top.
Come on, Tex. You went to Georgia Tech. You're smarter than that, isn't he?
I don't know. Maybe his version of 1A is different than ours, I guess.
Maybe so. Maybe it was early, too.
It was.
But I think right now the Yankees would be in trouble in a World Series because once you get to that point of the season, home run derby days are over. Sorry, Drew, but you're not playing Baltimore anymore. Sorry, Drew. I mean, you knew it was going to be bad, but I left.
Well, you got to take a shot at me,
man. You can't keep the ball in the ballpark against them.
It's not the Orioles' fault. It's the juice ball.
It's the ball.
It's the ball.
Well,
the drag coefficient,
of course.
Did the juiced ball was that responsible for the guy that dove after a little pop up and somehow it hit his head in the
bad look?
He's trying.
That's a professional baseball team out there, supposedly.
You always know an insult's getting ready to come when anybody on these airwaves leads it with, sorry, Brett, but here comes the insult. No disrespect, Drew. Here comes the disrespect.
It's not Drew's fault that the Orioles are terrible.
No, he's not.
So we can't put it on Drew.
And last night, I think the weight of the season finally hit Brandon Hyde. Did you see his post-game presser? I mean, just we can't compete. We can't play them.
I mean, do they have anybody in their farm system at all?
They traded Cashner.
We got the first overall pick this year, the catcher from Oregon State. But he's still at the Ironbirds, so he's still in single A.
And baseball is so weird with the arbitration and the way they wait to call guys up because of contract situations. So they don't, like Austin Riley with the Braves. It took them forever to call him up because whatever the deal is with his contract.
Did you see him play any in high school?
I did. He is the real deal, and he showed it. I mean, that guy.
And he hit the scuffles. You knew he would, but you look at his slash line for a rookie that went through a round of leaking oil, scuffles, struggling. Still, what a year!
Oh, an incredible year, and he's a very humble young man. The day after he got drafted, he was back at DeSoto Central putting work in. I mean, the guy has a work, and you can tell by the way he's built and by the way he got up there. And unfortunately, it happened against the Cardinals, but right off Jump Street, first game in the Bigs, just hitting him out of the park.
He's going to play in October baseball, and the Braves could.
The Braves are good.
The Braves could be a threat to the Dodgers if this isn't the year for Dave Roberts. This will be the 7th straight year the Dodgers have won the West. I'm calling it. If it were election night and I was John King at the CNN big board calling Wayne County outside of Detroit, I'm calling it. The Dodgers are going to win the NL West. And if they don't, poor Dave Roberts. When's he going to win it?
He could be on his way out. And it's the same thing every year with the Dodgers, the pitching. And they didn't make any moves at the deadline to speak of. And Clayton Kershaw, as good as he is, seems to not be the same when it comes to that October baseball.
But they've got other pitchers this year, too. It won't just be the dependent on they only go as far as Kershaw carries them. They've got others, and they've got plenty of offense. But I think at some point when you hit October baseball, pitching and defense surely will come back in. It'll be less home run derby. I see a graphic up right now, Christian Yelich. Do y'all realize that it is very much in play for him not to just win the Triple Crown, but to win the Quadruple Crown? He could win the stolen base title in the National League. He's only a handful of bags behind that.
Boy, and what a disaster for the Marlins, just getting rid of all those players, and what a player he has turned out to be.
Disaster for the Cardinals when he was there to be taken.
It was him or Ozuna. And
Chris Raby says it wasn't quite 50-50, that it would have taken a little more for Yelich, but so it wasn't.
But the Cardinals could have afforded him.
Yeah.
Could have afforded him. Yeah, and I am.
Cardinals thought they had a center fielder too.
They did.
In Dexter Fowler.
They did, and Harrison Bader, who has struggled mightily of late. It has been a train going the wrong direction for the Cardinals of late.
Well, it's been a lot of should have turned right and they turned left.
Yep,
it's been a lot of that. And
seems to be a trend.
And I thought the Dexter Fowler move, Austin, in my years of enjoyment and fun and fandom with the Cardinals, It was one of the few times I saw him really just make a panic move. We've got to do something, and we got to do something. Frankly, Cubs were on their brain. And historically, the Cubs have not been on the Cardinals' brain.
Yeah.
But and the Cubs have put a lot of pressure on a lot of people because of that. With that, they're doing a lot of things right. It's sunshine and daffodils with them.
Yeah. I mean, Theo Epstein turned them around like nobody thought anybody could in that quick of a time frame.
And he sold the fan zone. All right, we got a whole lot more rough patch, but I'm doing the things that on the back end will pay off, and he's largely been proven right. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2019 models and special lease options. If you ever thought I looked great in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus of Memphis thinks you would look great in a Lexus, too. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 flagship LS500, and you will be looking and driving great. Lexus of Memphis, the highest standards in the industry. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com, 362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Austin, go ahead.
My top story of the day
and crack your.
Oh yeah,
I could tell you were reluctant to do it because the pop top.
Oh no. I'm
go ahead. Little gnat sound won't hurt anything, will it?
My top story of the day has to do with college football, but it's not the news that Oregon wanted. One of their senior wide receivers, Brendan Schuler, is going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. He had foot surgery, and that's a tough one for me. I thought Oregon was going to be playing for the Pac-12 championship, and that's a big blow. And with college football season getting close, that's a tough one for the Ducks.
There was a point in June in lightly shaded pencil days, Drew.
We're still in lightly shaded
we're not.
pencil. I'm telling you.
It's ball
up until the deadline.
I got my pen.
No, I got a pen. I got a highlighter. I mean, I got a Sharpie. No, there was a point in June where I was flirting with, or I wanted something different in my college football playoff, and not to be different guy. In fact, I don't like different guy just to be different guy. Sometimes thinking inside the box makes a lot more sense.
Right.
And I was flirting with Oregon, but every passing week, I'm glad I've gotten off that. And, of course, SEC Media Days, all my Auburn buddies convinced me they're going to trounce them opening night, and you're not going to the college football playoff losing opening night.
Yeah.
So I backed off them. Now my new Pac-12 fancy to be different guy, you see what that might get me, it is Washington. My top story of the day, on the eve of busy NFL preseason, really swinging into high gear with 11 games tomorrow night, you know, college football gets criticized, rightly, for same old teams in the college football playoff. Same old teams in the finals. There's a story out there today, and I agree 100% with Dabo Swinney. Alabama, don't try to sell it. It's not a good look, and Alabama is not known for putting on bad looks.
No.
But don't try to sell the SEC grind wore you out for the Clemson game. That is a bad look. Do not do it. You got smoked. And you got to finally realize how the rest of us feel most of the time. You were a great team last year. You will be a great team this year. No excuses around that game. I thought
you cannot make an excuse for Alabama. You don't have the right to make excuses if you're Alabama.
Really bad for him. Dylan Moses at SEC Media Day saying he thought they were still really better. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. The scoreboard matters. And that scoreboard had a 28-point. If it had been a 2-point difference on a 57-yard hooking field goal as the horn goes off, still a bad look. But okay, maybe. Yeah. Okay, maybe then.
They got destroyed.
Got it handled. Now, very rare, the worst defeat Nick Saban's ever suffered since getting it rolling after 2007, bigger than the Utah loss in the Sugar Bowl after 2008. No, and the ACC's got enough of a grind. The SEC's not the. I love the SEC, and it is a grind. It's not the only one out there.
And let's be real, Alabama plays in the SEC West, which has Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Mississippi State, who haven't been world beaters the last 2 years.
Trying to turn it around.
And it's not like those are tough games for Alabama throughout the year.
Exactly, and Auburn and
Auburn hadn't been
that sporty. You know, look, everybody for the league they play in, for the Tigers, the AAC's a grind. with facilities, budgets, teams are playing comparable foes. Stop that. Now I'm with Dabo Swinney on that front. But on that same old, we're getting ready to start this NFL preseason tomorrow night. And aren't we all kind of jumping to New England winning it again?
I'm not.
Well, that's the same old if they do, if you are.
Yeah.
And if you do, and if they do, that's the same old, or being in the mix at the end. Golden State was kind of the same. And I know Toronto won. And in baseball, we're on a collision course for the Dodgers and Astros to be around late October. That's same old. I don't get the criticism of college football for same old, but the rest of them a little bit exempt up from it.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story, and I apologize if you guys may have discussed this already. I haven't had much of a chance to talk about it. So this new
our show is an apology for
the NCAA rules for the agents that have recently come down.
We touched on it too briefly yesterday.
I can't stand it. The NCAA is just so good at doing the wrong thing, thinking it's the right thing, but can't get the right thing right.
They sweat jaywalking while mass carnage is going around.
It's unbelievable, just the things that they don't focus on that are so much more important.
Well, and it's the ultimate unwieldy bureaucracy.
Yep.
Of a lot of paper pushers, a lot of people. It's always somebody in every organization, and the bigger it gets, you're for sure going to have it. What exactly does that guy do?
Yeah.
Do you ever really see him do anything?
Yeah.
And what a deal if you can be that guy, and even better if you can get that job of don't really know what he does, and he makes a lot.
Yeah, exactly. The guy from Memphis, he was kind of known around Memphis in the John Calipari days. Worldwide West, I believe, was his nickname. That was one of those guys that was behind the scenes that you didn't really know. It's kind of a deal like that.
Yeah. My not top story, Zach Greinke, okay last night for Houston, not much. Clayton Kershaw, real good for the Dodgers. And I said earlier, you can talk all this home run and offense stuff, kind of the halcyon days of August, the good old summertime, 11-9 games. It'll narrow come October. It will get down to pitching and defense as it gets towards October. And I think Houston will be a really, really tough out when it gets to that point. I would like to see the contrast of a Yankees-Astros World Series and the Yankees when they go on the road to that wild place that Houston will be. I think Minute Maid will bring it more than Yankee Stadium will bring it.
Oh.
As a home field advantage.
Astros fans have really, and all fan bases will do this when the team gets good. They will start to come out in droves. And Houston, if I'm not mistaken, was by far one of the loudest places in the postseason when Houston won the World Series that year.
And even last year when it came up short.
New York Yankees fans, while Yankee Stadium is a tough place to play, it's just a different kind of fan up there. It's a different kind of fan.
It is, and a lot of their stadium noise, it's manufactured.
Yeah.
A lot of it, somebody, twisting in the control room. At Houston, it seems very real. I would love to see that matchup. I think Houston will top them. I think A.J. Hinch is a really good manager and a little better right now than Aaron Boone.
And I'll tell you, Houston, they have done just so much with that. You talk about, look where they came from, losing 100 games in a year.
Bottom.
Knew how to. We talk about Theo Epstein, and he has done a heck of a job with the Cubs. But look what the Astros organization has done, and A.J. Hinch, I feel like the perfect guy for that job, and he's proven it.
He has proven it. I like A.J. Hinch, and I like that Astro outfit. I'm not anti-Yankee. I think it's fun to have the Yankees in the postseason. We got John Goin coming up at 4 o'clock with Golf Talk and Picks at 5 o'clock. Patrick Garvin to talk the Georgia Bulldogs. In between that, we'll have our college football games of the year from Austin. We'll go over ours again a little bit. 5:30, top 12 NFL head coaches. But next, from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and talking golf and baseball, it'll be TJ Reeves. Austin in with me today. Dave's back tomorrow. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. School's back in. Are the kids going to be running out of hot water every morning? Or worse, are you going to be out of hot water by the time they leave? It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. At Conway Services, we're making now the perfect time to replace that old energy-guzzling tanked water heater with a new tankless water heater with 24 months to pay, interest-free. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tanked water heater. These energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. See why I say now's the perfect time? Call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater, we'll come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Jim Gaffigan, Secrets and Pies Tour.
Have you been to one of the weddings where the groom removes the girder belt from the bride and flings it to a crowd of perverts? What came up with that one?
Hey, you know the bride throws the bouquet? How about something for the fellas? Maybe the bride's underwear?
Jim Gaffigan, Saturday, August 17th, FedEx Forum. Reserve seats on sale now at the FedEx Forum box office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
When did I know it was time for back-to-school shopping at JCPenney? When my son discovered the guitar.
Thursday through Sunday, shop Nike and Adidas at the Bus Stops Here sale. Get 25% off select Nike and Adidas for the family, or score shoes from Converse, Vans, and more. Plus, download the JCPenney app for even more savings and rewards. For smart styles and smarter savings, shop JCPenney. Offers valid 8/8 to 8/11. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
I'm here with Anna and Catherine, two of Mr. Charlie Virgos' granddaughters at the Rendezvous restaurant. Okay, ladies, you guys and gals now ship a Rendezvous nacho box. Why had no one thought of that before?
We do. We have no idea. Someone suggested it to us, and at first even we went, can we make that work? So we sent a bunch of sample boxes to friends and family to only rave reviews.
Okay, so what comes in the nacho box?
You get Rendezvous pulled pork, a bag of Brim's corn chips, a bottle of Rendezvous barbecue sauce, a bottle of Rendezvous seasoning, a tub of Pancho's cheese dip, and a jar of Flo's pickled jalapenos from Felicia Suzanne's.
The box is $99, which includes overnight shipping. It makes 6 to 8 full dinner-sized nachos, or feeds way more if you're just serving it as an appetizer.
It truly is a perfect taste of Memphis. A great gift for family, friends, clients, coworkers, or just some Memphis expats.
Where do we order these delicious nachos?
At hogsfly.com.
Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous Restaurant, a family-owned restaurant in downtown Memphis in the alley since 1948.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
What's that?
We're trying to catch up with TJ Reeves, and we'll talk the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They get started this week. Everybody gets started this week. We had the one game last week. You're not a big preseason fan.
No, My mantra is real football starts August 24th with Florida and Miami. But, I'll watch a little bit of it. It's mostly just the starters are going to play one series, and the rest of the guys you probably won't see again for the rest of the season, barring injuries. It's good. It's football, so it's better than no football, but just not my idea of a really enjoyable, entertaining football game.
Yeah, and there will be a lot of guys that will not make the teams, and it's really a lot of kind of mercenary football. It's a lot of people's one and only shot.
I mean, now that what you said, that is what makes it interesting to an extent,
And
is
also
the fact
very dangerous.
that the guys are fighting for spots. But yeah, again, very dangerous because some of these kids, their career could end with the wrong hit.
And I think the special team play really highlights it in preseason. You're seeing guys just going down there and trying just all out.
And I'm
human projectiles.
I'm blanking on his name at the moment. He played for Mississippi State, and he's with the Texans. It's been a story the last couple of days of him just going all and just hitting his own guys.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm blanking on the name too. And they removed him from practice.
Yeah, I mean, just you gotta have some constraint. You're hurting your own teammates.
It's your guys. Bill Belichick will not allow. I mean, it is strictly enforced. No, the big team brawls. The play your own team fighting each other. He's very opposed to that. He's not big on fighting. You don't fight ever. Don't do anything that might get a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things that makes the Patriots so resilient is Bill Belichick making decisions like that. They just don't get hurt.
So you said, we're trying to catch up with TJ. You said you're not at the end of this year. You have your NFL picks. You don't think New England will be around at the end?
No, I think they will be in the playoffs, but I haven't really gotten into my NFL predictions yet. I don't know if I will pick them to win the Super Bowl. It is hard to pick against them, but I may go with somebody else. We'll just have to see how it plays out. I'm thinking I may go back to the Rams, but it's going to be tough. I'm thinking it might be Kansas City is who I'm leaning towards right now.
Well, if they couldn't finish it off last year, though, Austin, they at home just line up right.
Yeah.
D Ford lined up. I mean, just look down the line of scrimmage. See where
it's a valid point because last year was probably one of their best chances to do it. So that's going to be tough, but they do have him home still. And
when are you going to have that year out of him again, if ever?
That is also a good question. I mean, because
and
you rarely see back-to-back seasons like that.
New England at Arrowhead. I thought the playoff coaching last year by Bill Belichick against Anthony Lynn in the divisional round, against Andy Reid in the AFC Championship game, and then on Super Bowl Sunday against Sean McVay, thought he ran circles around him. I didn't think New England was that good last year. I thought it was his least best. Maybe the first one, maybe when Brady was a younger player when they upset the Rams. But after they've been rolling, I thought that was their least best team.
Well, and the Rams.
And we kind of wrote them off at one point last year, didn't we? After the loss to Miami.
Yeah.
And the
and not to sound like
kick return for Miami.
The Bama story we were just talking about where making excuses, but I think the Rams were a better team than the Patriots. But they pulled the same thing they pulled 2 years ago in the first round of the playoffs, and they didn't score any points.
Kind of collapsed. They sure did.
Yeah, their offense fell apart.
Yeah, and there was a point during the year last year I thought Jared Goff was right up there with Mahomes, and he did not have good playoffs. He didn't have a great game at New Orleans in the controversial win.
No, he didn't. And honestly, well, we all know what probably should have happened in that game, but that's neither here nor there.
Saints was robbed, weren't they?
Boy, I'll tell you. But I'm sick of it. At this point, the game's over. It happened. Be done with it. But it definitely was a story.
I'm with you. I'm sick of it, too. I can understand that it got old, how anyone want to take it to court. But if you were that fan and you got that big a raw deal and you're that close and at the end for Drew Brees, I can see why they would be pretty irate.
But I'm going to tell you,
and
we're going to talk some top college games here in a bit, but week 2 of the NFL season, Saints at Rams. We all know what happened last time those two played. That right there is one of the, I think, most exciting games coming up this year, is that rematch right there.
That will be a good one. You came in loaded for bear today. You've got your NFL games.
Yeah, I misread your text at first.
Give me a taste of a couple of them.
I thought you said top NFL games, and then I realized you said coaches.
Give me a taste of a couple of your games.
Well, that one. Also, Chiefs at Patriots. I think that's going to – of course, that's a little bit later in the year, so by then we'll probably know But I'm telling you one I'm kind of looking forward to is the last week of the year, and it's Chiefs at Bears. Because I feel like that could be, and I'm saying could be, we're going to see what the Bears are really made of. And the Chiefs, we'll see if they have the kind of year, but possible Super Bowl preview there.
That would be fun. I like the Bears. I like the Bears a lot this year to go far. I don't have them in the Super Bowl. I've done my NFL picks. Not ready to let them fly today. I want to see injuries and stuff as it pans out in August. Do you have an NFL team? Is there a?
Well, I've been following the Giants since Eli got drafted. I
have two. The day he's done, I'm done with them.
Yeah,
they drive me crazy watching.
I've been saying it from the start, and my family can attest to this. I'm not a bandwagon guy. I'm an Ole Miss fan and a Cardinals fan, so anybody that knows me will know I'm not a bandwagon guy. I've been saying it from the start. When Eli is done, that's literally the only reason I've been a Giants fan.
Me too.
I have
can't
no
take it another Sunday afternoon.
I would rather be a fan of a team once he's done that I could go see a game for him now and then, like New Orleans or Atlanta or somebody regional like
Titans?
that. Titans. Somewhere I could actually go see a game. I can't go up to New York on Sundays and see a game.
I'm telling you, through the years watching the Giants with him, it seemed like every game, not just the hamstring injury, but major career-ending injury for somebody primary, somebody very key to him.
Yeah, and their offensive line has been
so bad,
awful. And I don't know how Eric Flowers ever got an NFL starting job at left tackle. But he was horrible.
The general manager job turned in by Jerry Reese after they won it the second time with Eli. You put maybe not a third one. Hard to win, except unless you're Tom Brady. Hard to win 3 as a quarterback with any franchise.
Yeah.
Very very difficult. I know Troy Aikman did. Very 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 hard to do.
But I will say,
but not even have representative teams. That was a really poor job.
3-win teams for the New York Football Giants.
Put nothing around him.
Yeah,
and then they would kind of, all right, let's get the defense fixed, and they would fix the defense. Then the offensive line would be bad.
They lived on defense for those Super Bowl wins, even.
Well, they did, but ultimate team game. But it was really when you have Umanura, Strahan,
Pierre Paul, and
JPP. And linebackers and defensive backs. It was really good defensive teams, and it was probably more of a defensive team, but at least respectable on offense. He did a terrible job. And now in that division with Eagles, Cowboys, I'm afraid Giants are really – they're scuffling around this year for 4 or 5 wins.
Oh, if that. And it's going to be a crapshoot between them and the Redskins to decide who finishes last place. It's going to be Eagles 1, Cowboys 2, I think, even if the Cowboys don't have Dak for some reason. I think they're just better than those two teams. But it's just it really is a shame, though, and not as an Eli fan saying this. Eli has been nothing but class for that organization in his career there. And for his career to end essentially in the way it is ending, in just a pile of smoke and garbage. It's really not his fault. It's just the game has changed, and he just isn't cut out for the high-flying game that the NFL is today.
His lack of mobility with no line.
Lack of mobility, no offensive line, and now no receivers to work with. All they've got is Saquon. And if you can't block for Saquon, you got nothing.
And if I'm Saquon Barkley, I'm watching the Ezekiel Elliott holdout and the Le'Veon Bell holdout from last year, and I'm wondering, do I really want to get that beat up this year with that many touches, that many carries, that many swing passes, and that many?
Because it ain't going to win them any games.
No, where's it going to go ultimately? 5 wins, 6?
Yeah. They are so far away from being a playoff team again. So far away.
And I had a lot of hope for Dave Gettleman as GM after Jerry Reese. I was a little bit after Tom Coughlin. I think that was probably a mistake. NFC East probably comes down to Cowboys, Eagles.
Yeah, and I think if Carson Wentz stays healthy, it's going to be Eagles. I just don't think Dak Prescott is really all that great, to be honest with you. But
Drew had him in his quarterbacks yesterday. You had Carson Wentz 10 or 11. Help me.
I think I had him at 11.
Yeah.
You talking about overall quarterback?
Yes.
He has just shown that he can't stay in there.
Yeah.
And Foles down the stretch last year was better. We talk about the Saints, and they did get the tough call. If the ball doesn't get through Alshon Jeffrey for the Eagles last year, I think Nick Foles is getting ready to get on a little more Foles magic.
Yeah.
They might have
Nick Foles has won them a Super Bowl and almost won them a second one.
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
And caught a touchdown.
Oh, and that was so much fun.
And Brady's hands were so bad that day. He can't catch anything.
I loved the fact that the Eagles ran that play after the Patriots ran that play and made it work. That was the best part of the whole game.
Made it work. Do you remember the guy that threw the touchdown pass?
Oh, for the Eagles, it was
the tight end, wasn't it? From Florida.
Was it Ertz?
Trey? No. It was the tight end from Florida.
Oh,
he's not with them anymore.
I'm blanking out.
Yeah, but it was not Ertz. Ertz had a big day that day, though.
He did.
Trey Burton, wasn't it? I think it was Trey Burton that threw the touchdown pass for the Eagles. They made that play work, or was it Clement, the tailback? But
let me look. I'll look it up.
They made the play work after Brady was wide open. He doesn't score. I don't know that the Patriots wanted him.
He didn't run 10 yards after he made the catch.
I don't think they wanted him tucking it upfield, but he was so open. And you know.
He was going to get.
It was Trey Burton.
Okay,
Yeah.
You found it. Yeah, my computer was slower over here.
And you know, with a play like that, every time they tried it in practice, it worked every time.
Because the Patriots never run trick plays.
Because you don't run it in the game if it fails once in practice. That's just it doesn't work. And you don't have the time to keep on and keep on and keep on. So when you put that in, when you install it, and you run it a few times, and it works in almost every time, a halfback pass. They work. Any trick, gimmick, gadget, back of the playbook, and then for Brady, Mr. Perfect, to drop it wide open.
Yeah. That will forever live on as probably the favorite moment of current Eagles fans' lives, besides the actual Super Bowl win, is watching Tom Brady drop that pass.
Texter at 67129. I'm an oddball. I love seeing guys fighting to make a roster. Crow. Hey, thanks, Crow. I'm with you. 67129, the First Bank text line. I like to see the competition. I just think, I don't want to get too politically correct. I just think sometimes in preseason football, you're seeing bonsai football. I mean, you're seeing the guy trying to go over Niagara Falls in the barrel. Because for all of us, life's a lot different getting that game check than it is just regular Joe Q public check. And if you don't make it work in preseason, I saw the other day the famous hit from Terrell Davis, his rookie year trying to make the Broncos. There's a famous hit of Isaac Bruce, I think in a regular season game at Busch Stadium against the football Cardinals. He's trying to get the coach's attention somehow.
Yeah.
And you're out there.
Like you said, it's dangerous.
What the heck? This beats working for a living. And sometimes the danger factor of just all out on the line can get a little, can get a little wild in some of these preseason games. But I like the preseason games. I watch and I listen to the broadcast and the dialogue, if nothing else, when the announcers go football talk, kind of when they go talk radio mode during that game, because some of the names and some of the colleges and some of these players really don't matter because they're not going to make the team.
But and that's part of being a good broadcaster is knowing how to fill that time
to get ready for those games
with history or stories, or getting ready for the actual season coming up.
Because you could have a lot of filler, and a lot of these games become a little bit of a snooze fest.
Oh, I mean, the Hall of Fame game was. I mean, you could have fallen asleep in seconds.
I went to the Redbirds game that night and didn't watch it down. I was looking forward to it all summer. Didn't watch it down of it. Wanted to hear Al Michaels. I love him. Didn't watch it down of it. I don't think I missed anything. We'll take this break.
Real quick before we go to break, though, I do want to. I have 3 pair of tickets to give away to the Duck, Buck, and Bass Expo. Gotta be real careful. Gotta be real careful saying that on air.
Don't want to come in medicated on that.
Gonna make Drew work over there on the dump button, but. I'm going to give away 1 pair in each hour, so I'm going to give away a pair right now. The third caller will get this pair of tickets to the Duck, Buck, and Bass Expo. It is August 9th through 11th. These tickets are for any day, so you can go.
Hand one to me just to see if I can.
Yeah, you got to be careful with it. Drew, you hear that over there?
Are you safe on the duck button just in case?
The third caller is going to get a pair of tickets.
For the Duck, Buck, and Bass Expo.
So caller number 3, I'll give away another pair in the 4 o'clock hour and 1 more in the 5 o'clock hour.
Duck, Buck, and Bass. I promise that's the last time I'm trying.
I'll tell you, Peter and CJ make me nervous in the mornings. They do it to me on purpose. They will start to say it over and over again.
But it's a fun deal for sure, and we will to what texter or caller?
A third caller. Third caller.
360-8255 at the First Bank phone line. You can call in and you can win that. We hit this break. Austin Eldridge in with me today. Dave's back tomorrow. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Soul Fish Cafe has done something that no other business in the history of Memphis has ever done. They won 3 different categories in the Memphis Most. They won it for the best catfish. We all know that's the best catfish, and you can get it fried like everybody does, or you could get it, if you wanted to, grilled or blackened. It's the best. Everybody says it. Then there's seafood. We know about their beautiful shrimp. You can get those fried. You can get them grilled. The shrimp tacos are terrific. Memphis Most, best seafood. Then there's soul food. Yes, a 3rd category, soul food. Their veggies are unbelievable. They've got this sauerkraut sausage Cajun dish that is amazing. I love the cucumber salad. Everything is always so fresh. And now, you know, there's 3 locations with a 4th one coming to Wolf Chase soon. The original Cooper Young, the shops of Forest Hill Irene, and, of course, the newest in East Memphis. That's on Poplar, just east of Perkins in the old Wolf Cameron location. They're the best. You said it. They're Soulfish.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, Infinity of Memphis, and we've got a new Infinity crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like 2 engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own, and only Infinity has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And the new QX50 offers more horsepower than its Audi, Lexus, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
Infinity of Memphis, and online at infinityofmemphis.com.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We got a winner?
Yes, we do.
Very good.
1 pair down, 2 to go.
Great event. Just be really careful with that name.
Yeah, don't.
That name's
whatever you want to say at home is fine, but if you're on the airwaves, you got to be real careful with it.
Yeah, I never have. I know one of these days it may slip, but
can't ever get too comfortable. I guess that's
no. Whew. Boy, that's when you do.
I don't know if they really thought that through as well when they were coming up with a name for this thing.
Great name though. He got the message out, didn't it? Great.
Oh, it sure did. Very memorable.
And I want to apologize to TJ Reeves, who is so very loyal to this station, to these airwaves. Treats us like home. He told me today. He said, "Now look, Brett, I may be a game time decision." Because 6th grade for his beloved sweetheart little twins, 6th grade kickoff, open house, and,
the whole chaos of school.
What do you say to that? TJ, Austin, I have to have you. No way. Not allowed.
Yeah, your daughters aren't as important as us. Come on.
So obviously he got busy, and we were and now I'm texting. Sorry, was wrapped up. Nope. We can call him right now. We'll put him on for 2 seconds. Call him right now. We'll put TJ on. But
TJ's a good dude.
He sure is, and getting ready to be busy. Everybody in the football world and his duties with the Buccaneers, man, you get on. It's a high wire act. It's fun out there week to week and town to town, and he's getting ready to get very busy and very, very good to his little girls. We get him on. We'll put him on for about 6 minutes and get a little Buccaneer update. Austin Eldridge in today. Good to have you in with us, and I know you got your games of the year for college football. We did that yesterday. And
I'm excited.
And I did 12 because I can't stand a top 10 list because you leave out so much good stuff.
I like the 12. I changed mine up a little bit. I texted you yesterday with some of mine, but I did a little bit more thinking today.
I can't stand a top 10 list because it's too narrow. 15's too much.
Yeah, 15's a little bit too much, but I think 12 is a good number.
It is a good number. John Gowen will be with us at the top of the hour for golf talk and picks, but we will talk a little golf right now with TJ Reese. He covered the PGA Tour for years. He's also Tampa Bay Buccaneers sidelines and a lot of Tampa Bay Rays games. TJ, I just gave the alibi out that you were at 6th grade open house today.
Forgive me. Forgive me.
You know you are, my friend.
It was a real reality check all the way around because you remember them when they were little,
Born.
and they are not little anymore.
I text you today, hard to believe, and I know it is for old Dad. You know, TJ, several weeks ago I tried to develop with you, and we did, the Bruce Arians, Jameis Winston story. Everybody is on the same page that if it's anything there, and we think it's there, Bruce Arians will get it out of Jameis.
Well, yeah, and that's the whole idea. And I know we were talking last week. I don't know how many of the fans have gotten to see that Real Sports segment from HBO. And it's available online, by the way, for free. You can go online to HBO's YouTube page and watch the segment with Bruce Arians where they're talking about him coming back to coaching and about how coaching has basically on a couple of occasions hospitalized him and jeopardized his health. It's a really good segment. And so we were talking about that last week and the work with Winston. And by the way, to correct a couple of things that I said wrong for you last week. Number one, the Saints have won the Super Bowl, obviously, because you had a listener contact me, and another friend of mine heard me saying that and said, "Wait a minute, the Saints have won a Super Bowl." So yes, the Falcons and the Panthers have not. But the other thing we were talking about was Arians was at Virginia Tech, and his roommate was James Barber at Virginia Tech, and then they were graduate assistants together for Frank Beamer when the Arians, he and his wife, babysat Rondé and Tiki Barber for the Barbers. How about
Small
that,
world,
going
man.
back almost 40 years ago? So
there
is some
small.
history there. I was at the Bucs workout on Monday. We play the Steelers on Friday night. Go to Pittsburgh tomorrow. Don't expect the starters to play a bunch, but all eyes are going to be on Winston. There's no doubt about that. It begins now. He's practiced well for whatever that's worth, but now you got to start seeing it when you turn the lights on and put everybody in the stands. And again, like you've said, and I think everybody agrees, if Bruce Arians can't get it out of him, that there's real questions about his future.
Yeah. And if it's there, I think he will get it out. But baseball. Tough vote when it comes American League Manager of the Year. The 2-year body of work, kind of the 2-year candidacy of Kevin Cash. But the job Aaron Boone's done, he's got a famous middle name in Boston. The job he's done with the oft-injured Yankees. Rocco Baldelli, former Tampa Bay Ray player with the Twins. That's going to be a tough vote.
Yeah, it's incredible what the Twins have done, turning it around, and in particular with the long ball, with the home run. So they're a fascinating story. And look, the Yankees, it's always, it's kind of like those years when Phil Jackson had those Laker teams. You know, you can go right down the list. Should Bill Belichick be the coach of the year every year in the NFL with Brady and the Patriots? And so for Aaron Boone, when you manage the New York Yankees, and this is the truth, they can go buy whatever they need repeatedly. You get taken aback a little bit by how much of a manager do you have to be when you plug in the best players year after year, and if somebody's hurt like what they've had, you plug somebody else in. And look, I don't know how long the Rays are going to hold up, but I can tell you down here, it's a lot of fun to watch them scrap and compete, and they're going to hang in the wild card race for the next 6 weeks here and try to make the playoffs at basically 1/4 or 1/5 the payroll of the two Godzillas, the Yankees and the Red Sox. And they just swept the Red Sox last week and completed the sweep, which means they beat the Red Sox 8 times out of 9 at Fenway Park, and that hasn't happened since 1966, where a team won 8 times at Fenway Park in the regular season. That year, the Orioles won the World Series. I don't know that the Rays will win the World Series, but how about that for a stat? So the Rays have been competitive, and it's fun.
$165 million less payroll than the Boston Red Sox. TJ, you know the top of the hour drill. we're short on time. We'll have extended time with you next week. Austin Eldridge, say hello, Austin.
TJ, long time no talk. Good to hear from you, man.
He's in with me today.
Austin,
I didn't want to short
good
him.
to be with you, Stats. Good to be with you. I know you're up against it. Thank you for indulging me with my middle schoolers. They'll be in middle school this time next week.
Wow,
they'll keep you busy.
And then we got Buccaneer. We got Buccaneer preseason. We didn't even get to talk Raiders on Hard Knocks with John Gruden. We'll do that down the road too, because I've seen that behind the scenes. And now everybody's getting to see it with the Raiders. So it's fascinating. Football is here. You guys do well.
And Dave will want a piece of you next week as well. Thank you, TJ.
Yeah,
thanks, TJ.
He always does. Do well. See you later.
TJ Reeves with us at the Buccaneer sidelines and many other outlets. Always so very good to us. You can message us at Sports56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. 360-8255. The First Bank phone line, 67129. The First Bank text line. Drew Barrett producing so very ably. Austin Eldridge in with me. We always have a good time when you're in, Austin.
Love it. I always have a good time with you guys.
And this is a fun time of year, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, college football season, you just can't beat it.
A lot of passion in the air, isn't it?
Just a little. Just a little.
And that's what we're in. We're in the passion business. We want you to stay with us. 1 hour in the books. When we come back, we keep the passion going with golf talk and picks as the FedEx Cup playoffs. They start at the Northern Trust at Liberty National, 125-man field. Next week, 75, and then 30 at the home of Bobby Jones at East Lake for the Tour Championship in 2 weeks. We'll talk about Tiger Woods, and we'll do that with John Goen from Temper Trust Golf. That starts hour 2. You're listening to Sports Time with Austin Eldridge, Wolo, and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
If you miss the good old days of great Italian food, rejoice, because Chef Judd Grizzani is carrying on the 110-year-old family tradition. A new Ronnie Grizzani's is now open in the Regalia Center at Poplar and Ridgeway, with lunch 11 to 2 Monday through Saturday, plus a Saturday brunch also from 11 to 2. Live music Wednesday and Thursday nights, an oyster bar with fresh oysters and crab, and an extensive Italian and American wine by the glass list. Don't reminisce about the good old days. Relive them at Ronnie Grizzani's in the Regalia Center at Poplar and Ridgeway.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Hi friends, I'm Shane Stanford from Christ Church, Memphis. Here at Christ Church, we believe in Memphis and we believe in you. And every Sunday at 11 o'clock, we want to invite you to come hear a biblically based, Christ-centered message that talks about God's love for you and His guidance in your life. And also to hear an interview by amazing people who are doing incredible things for our city and our community. So don't miss us, 11 o'clock, right here on this station, every Sunday morning. I'm Shane Stanford. Remember, you matter.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
If you're the owner of a company and you're tired of a dirty office building, or maybe you're tired of dirty restrooms, or floors and carpets that are filthy, or windows that you can't even see through, I've got a solution. Let Trinity be your cleaning solution. Trinity Professional Services. They're putting professionalism back in cleaning. They specialize in stripping and waxing and buffing floors, in cleaning carpet. Just make it seem like it's spring outside. Window cleaning where you see through and everything shines. Commercial janitorial services specializing in final construction cleaning. Hey, the people that own this company, they are big construction people. They know what needs to be done. So if you would like it done the right way, call Todd Pope or Tommy Ferrari, the former Tiger quarterback, at 833-6773. 833-6773. It's Trinity. They're your cleaning solution.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brad Norsworthy.
Hour 2 begins for Sports Time with Wolo and Stats with Austin Eldridge in with us today. Always fun to have Austin in. We will talk golf and do picks with John Goen from Temper Trust Golf down in Olive Branch, formerly Plantation. We've had a lot of fun this year, this week, next, and the following. That'll do it for the golf year as the golf year was moved up. We know the schedule adjustment for our tournament here in a lot of places. No TPC Boston this year. It will be back in next year, but this week they are at Liberty National for the first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs. I like how they're ending it. I think I like the early finish, but John Goen, he joins us now. John, I will tell you, my heart is kind of been thinking PGA Championship this week. I'm kind of used to either this week or next, kind of where Glory's last shot used to be. Glory's over for this year for the majors, but the PGA with the FedEx Cup playoffs will be fun. Good afternoon, John.
Hey, Brett, how you doing? Yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm not completely, I guess, shook up by it. I think that we've kind of been a bit prepped for this already, and since you've already had the PGA Championship in May there, there's a little bit of nostalgia, I guess, kind of gone, but it's nice to have the playoffs already started as opposed to maybe a couple of weeks of clunkers and then kind of rolling into the playoffs.
I agree with that.
Or having it draw out for 4 weeks.
And I have an affinity for TPC Boston. I hate it that they're out this year. I like their Friday start, Monday finish, but in all honesty, I bet they're glad to not be doing that because you're going against the football monster, the Labor Day weekend monster, the last trip to the beach, to the lake house, to the grill, to all that. And the tour. They like the idea of a little more of the focus, in FedEx, frankly, a little more of the focus being on this event instead of kind of lost in the football monster.
Well, knowing Dan Wozlewski, the GM up at TPC Boston and the membership, I'm sure that they are more than happy to kind of alternate every other year in this whole schedule. Let's face it, at the end of the day, to be a private club and host a tour event every single year, after being at Southwind for as long as I was and TPC Summerlin prior to that, there is definitely a grind and a wear on the membership. So to kind of flip-flop around every other year to go between New York and Boston, I think really helps from the Boston membership's perspective. And it gives you a little bit of a break, this time of year as you're kind of maybe gearing up. To your point, everybody's going back to school. Granted, up north, they go back to school a little bit later than we do in this part of the country. But I do know for a fact, in talking with him throughout the span of the last couple of years, that he is not heartbroken to not be hosting a PGA Tour event this year.
John, Austin Eldridge here, going to be talking to you this afternoon, and at the top of the power rankings, of course, to no surprise for this upcoming event this week, is Brooks Koepka, who just seems to make it look too easy. And he has the added motivation this week of being at the top spot for this new format with the Tour Championship to get that the head start out there at East Lake, and that's just more motivation for him. The question is not really these days, is Brooks going to win? It's more of what does he have to do, or what's going to happen for him to lose. It's his tournament to lose, it seems.
Yeah. Hey, Austin. Thanks. Yeah. I'm not sure. You do have to wonder a little bit in two events. Where does Brooks have the potential of landing where he still wins at East Lake? Because let's face it, look, they're playing for a lot of money these next few weeks. I completely understand and appreciate that. But a 3-week stretch to play and have your complete undivided attention for, let's call it 12 rounds of golf, is going to be challenging for anybody. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how Brooks handles this over the span of the next 3 weeks. I could see Brooks winning 2 out of 3, could potentially win this week, kind of get a little lackluster next week, and obviously then come back and probably, have a very good chance of winning the Tour Championship. I don't see him being able to run the gauntlet, obviously, so somebody's going to sneak in and win an event over the span of these next 3 weeks. But clearly Brooks is the all-out favorite kind of going into this whole thing. It's just going to be a matter of what's going to keep his attention and how far outside of maybe the top 5, can he be, or, inside that top 5, I should say, as to how, you get into this whole juggling of how far under par you start once you get to East Lake. But, as I said, Brooks is definitely the clear-cut favorite. It's just going to be a matter of how well he's able to kind of keep his attention and focus over the span of the next 3 weeks.
And the return of Tiger Woods, we said earlier, it feels like forever ago. It is. Time has moved on since April in the green jacket ceremony for Tiger Woods. After that, just not a lot of play, not a lot of good play, and maybe injured.
Well, I mean, he already commented about how he's dealing with some back stiffness, and the weather up in New York right now is not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. So, I don't know. I think Tiger, as much as he is willing to and committed to playing in the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised if Tiger potentially is done by next week, so he can really kind of shut things down, take some significant time off, and get ready for next year. Obviously he's got some President's Cup duties this year
as captain,
but other than that, I don't see Tiger advancing to East Lake and having this big huge run to make any sort of team. I think he's going to be perfectly happy being the President's Cup captain and shut things down for the balance of the year after these next 2 weeks, and be ready to go come April of next year. But we're definitely not going to see Tiger between now and, I guess you potentially see him at the Players Championship in March, but I don't see that you're gonna have Tiger Woods playing golf at all prior to the Players Championship.
Yeah, it could really be a while, and I never did, and I don't know that many did. Look, there was disappointment, there was regret, and wishing it had been different. I don't know if anybody took it personally. He didn't show in Memphis. I think we're going to see over the course of tomorrow and Friday, and a miscut, maybe even a WD. We're going to see he couldn't play in Memphis. Don't take it personally. He could not go.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I know we talked a couple of weeks ago as to whether there might be some angst from the fans, and I felt like that at the time there could potentially have been. Again, not to continue to rehash what we have talked about, but I think there were a lot of folks that felt like by getting that WGC event that was kind of the layup of getting Tiger to finally come and play in the event in Memphis. And but I think after we took a few phone calls, and I think after you get through the event and the way everything kind of shook out, and Brooks Koepka being your champ, and he and Rory in the last pairing, I mean, Tiger would have kind of been, the whipped cream on top of the sundae. But, I think to your point, I don't think, and that's why I wouldn't be surprised if this week even he could miss the cut and potentially withdraw next week if he truly is at, where he is kind of saying that he's at with his back and the stiffness and basically some just physical limitations with what's kind of going on with his body right now. So, again, I think Tiger is best case scenario going to play the next 2 weeks. Worst case scenario, he misses the cut, probably WDs then out of next week. And then we don't see him until his President's Cup captaincy. And then, again, the Players' Championship come March.
And John, growing up, for me, I watched Tiger Woods a lot growing up, and just there's never been a golfer in my lifetime as dominant as he was. He had Jack Nicklaus in his era, and now you have Tiger Woods in his era. And when you're watching him when he was younger and you watch him through that stretch, you just never thought about Tiger Woods being done playing golf. And now all of a sudden we're talking, I mean, are we to the point where we have to realistically think golf's about to not have Tiger Woods anymore? Because it sure does seem to feel that way.
I don't think there's any doubt. Clearly we went through a couple of year stretch to where we didn't have Tiger Woods. And hate to say it, but I think that golf in the long run would be better off if we just kind of had this ending, just because, again, unfortunately, you kind of get to if Tiger's not playing in this event, I'm not going to watch. And that's unfortunate because you've got guys like Brooks Koepka, Justin Johnson, and Jason Day
that need
and
the
Rory.
stage to themselves.
Right. And that's the only way there's going to be this true kind of handing of the baton is Tiger, just needs to kind of drift off into the sunset.
What about Phil?
Let's have him. And I think Phil's the exact same
Me too.
way. I think Phil's done.
Is there any way for them to gracefully, not be just a crashing down of careers, but more of a? Is there a way that you think they can do it where they're gracefully removing themselves, like an official kind of retirement event or something like that, so to speak?
President Kennedy said it at his inaugural. We kind of had to move away from the war years, from FDR, Truman, and Ike. It might be time to move away from the Tiger and Phil years.
Well, look, they're both awfully young to be moving on from these years, anyhow. But if you take a really hard look, they are both also in that very odd time in their life, that Sean McKeel and Doug Barron and Lauren Roberts and a lot of these guys, Fred Couples was, and Greg Norman brought this up years ago that they should have tried to start a tour for that 42 to 50-year-old or that 45 to 50-year-old because you're not as competitive on the regular tour, but you're too young to go to the senior tour. And
man without a country.
Right. And look, can Phil Mickelson still go out and win a PGA Tour event? Absolutely. Can Tiger still go out
and did this year.
Win or compete or whatever in a PGA Tour event? Absolutely. But we are at that point where, they need to kind of just move on down the road or figure out what that exit strategy is going to look like.
I don't see Tiger playing on the Champions Tour. I don't know. He just doesn't seem like that kind of guy.
Neither one of them will.
Neither one of them. Neither one. Never put a peg in the ground.
No, they don't need it. They absolutely don't need it. So that's my personal opinion. I don't think you see those guys out there at all. There's not going to be, the Jack, Arnie, Gary Player, Lee Trevino, Hale Irwin. Those guys. Forget it. You won't ever see Tiger Woods put a peg in the ground for a senior tour event, regardless of whether it's a major or whatever. I just don't see that happening.
And if I'm those guys out there trying to establish my bona fides on that tour. I don't want them around. Look,
right.
I've battled with you enough. Let me have this 50 to 55. Let Larry Leoretti do his thing, and y'all stay away. All right. With all that about Brooks Koepka and Tiger, weird golf year, moment of the year, no doubt. Maybe sports moment of 2019, no doubt. For me, for sure, for seeing it. It was Tiger, but player of the year is landslide Brooks if he shoots 80-80 tomorrow and Friday.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, Brooks Koepka showed up, every single honor he could get 2 weeks ago when he won here in Memphis and, showed up the regular season. I hate to say it, especially for Drew's sake, but Brooks could basically fall on his face the next 3 weeks. And he's already, he's going to be player of the year. I don't care if Dustin Johnson, I don't care if Tiger has a miraculous next 3 weeks, all of a sudden, gets some injection or gets a chiropractor to loosen him up or whatever. Tiger could win the next 3 weeks, and Brooks Koepka is going to be your player of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly, John, I wanted to ask you when you were talking about TPC Boston and out here, so much about being out here. For our listeners, for the fans here that we so enjoyed it, it ended for 99.9% of us when we left Southwind that Sunday night at 5:30, 6 o'clock that night. Since then, how busy have they been deconstructing, tearing that all down? Is it back open for the members? I mean, just how big because that was a new city out there for this tournament this year.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically closed that Monday, and they open back up for the membership on Tuesday.
Oh, really? Wow.
They were still out there playing with the grandstands out there.
Yeah, it's a small window, and now, I mean, when I was at Southwind, we were 6 weeks up, 8 weeks down. So it took them 6 weeks to put it up. It took them 8 weeks to take it down, and they're probably well outside of that. I wouldn't be surprised if they're 10 weeks up and 12 weeks down. Or even 8 weeks up and 10 weeks down. So, I mean, because there were just some added things there this year that necessarily haven't been there in years past. Now, look, their teardown crew could be a bit larger than what they have had in the past at Southwind as well. So it could be on a similar 8 up, 8 down type schedule. But as far as everything else goes, yeah, closed Monday. Could have very well had like a FedEx outing or something at the golf course on Monday. Tuesday, opened back up for the membership. I think they had like some sort of like a, Sunday hole location type day where, people could come out and play where the Sunday hole locations were at. I actually talked to the superintendent yesterday, and, they're obviously gearing up for, the bunker renovation piece, the work that they're going to do on the fairways on both the third hole and the seventh hole. So, as I asked him, is there going to be a point where you somewhat regret that I brought you and hired you back to be the superintendent here, because
every day
you're not going to have an off season.
No.
You haven't had an off season starting, basically last year when you started on all the infrastructure work with drainage and dredging lakes and everything else. And he's like, look, we've got a lot going on at this point. I don't necessarily don't like it. And he says the one big factor that's coming up is duck season is right around the corner, and that will be where I can, kind of take a bit of a deep breath and kind of move on. So.
And that'll be fun for him. All right, we've talked about TPC Southwind enough. Let's talk about Timber Trust, your golf course where you are now, and this is the most prolonged stretch of dry weather probably since you got the golf course.
Yeah, we're finally kind of seeing it. I wish it wasn't quite as hot as it's been, because clearly although this is a great time, the heat and the humidity and everything definitely tends to drive some folks away. But overall the golf course is in good shape. We've kind of handled the weather a bit, but again, overall the golf course is in good shape, and we're kind of gearing up for that little fall stretch, right? We've got everybody's pretty much starting back to school on Monday if they haven't potentially already started back, or some of the schools I know down here in DeSoto County, some of the private schools have gone back, have started today or tomorrow, and so
school started, folks are back from all their summer trips and everything, and we're kind of getting ready to start football season, but it's also that fall golf season, which is just a great time to be able to get out. We are going to continue our 2T starts on the weekends with off of 1 and 10. 1, to be able to help folks maximize when they can get out in the cooler weather, but 2, come football season, you're
Play
looking
early.
to get out, play early, and get done before football. I mean, we're going to have those 7 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. tee times, plenty of them available for our folks to be able to come out. And, an opportunity to get you in, get you out, get you home for your ball game, your tailgate, do whatever. And then also, remember, just like tonight, we've got our 2-man scramble. We got quite a few teams for this evening, but we will continue that through the course of August and September. And, but Wednesday nights are always kind of a fun night to be able to come down, kind of unwind a little bit after work. But 5:30 tonight is our 2-man scramble. You can always call us at 662-895-3530 to be able to get out, or go to timbertrustgolf.com, and you can book your tee time online for, any day of the week, including this weekend.
Okay, John, very good. Golf picks time now. Drew, you're up first. You had a really good week last week, and I think everybody's alive to win. Austin has marching orders from Dave, and man, he's in first place. So no saboteur, no going off.
Drew's taking Louis Oosthuizen, right?
Can we officially be thankful that Dave is not here this week? Because
we're only going to be around him the rest of our lives.
Be worn out by him now taking the lead.
John, we never hear the end of this. You realize this, don't you? It'll make the Cubs winning in 2016. No. I'm going to text you every time he reminds me of it, so you'll have a reminder too. But it's not your fault.
We need to fix that.
It's
we
Drew's
need to fix that this week.
Here we go. Drew, first pick, your lock.
I'm going to take Brooks Koepka.
No way. If you had only done that a few weeks ago, I'm going to take with the second pick, I'm taking Justin Rose. John?
I'm going to take the hot guy right now, and that's going to be Webb Simpson.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, then I believe that leaves me / Dave, Rory McIlroy.
Rory Mac, that was his second pick on his list. That's who he wanted. All right, round 2, the shocks. We're going to mostly around the top 40 OWGR. Dave's is close enough. I'm going to give him a little exemption unless somebody takes it.
Rules are rules.
He's now leading. He is now leading, and we're still making exceptions for Dave on the OWGR.
But we can hold this against him. We can, like we did on it was fixed with the David Stern envelope. Drew?
I mean, good Lord. How many ways does he want to try? First, he wants 120. Now, all of a sudden, we've reeled it back.
That's what Drew said.
And, now he's leading, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
we've only helped him around every single turn this year.
Oh, my Lord.
And don't we all agree next week when the field goes to 75, we lower it for everybody to top 30 OWGR?
That's fine.
And then for the 30th.
He'll probably pick, 26?
At the Tour Championship,
for Dave,
go 20?
It'll need to be like in the top 15 once we get to the Tour Championship.
Oh, that's great.
We're gonna basically pick the same 6 players.
We will hold it over him.
I'm going to go with my shock pick last week because he did finish in the top 5. I'm going to keep it going with Siwoo Kim.
He's been good to you.
He has been the last couple of years.
Siwoo Kim. I'm going to take a South Korean, and we've seen the domination on the LPGA of the South Koreans, and I don't know if that kind of domination is coming to the PGA Tour, but they're churning out good player after good player. This guy's been in the money all year, more cuts made all year. He's really close. Sung Jae Im. John?
Well, okay, so we have actually all stuck to the top 60 and outside.
I took 60.
Per about normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to, you guys took 60 and 61. I am going to take 62, and that's going to be Scott Piercy.
Very good.
So we are all going to stick with the 60 OWGR, but we'll let Dave, have his inside the top 60.
Well, it's not just inside the top 60, John. Now keep in mind, I'm just making the picks that I was given. This is not me
40.
doing this because
I
would stick to the rules here.
It's 37.
But I have been told that Billy Horschel is the pick, and I believe he's 37.
He is 37. Close enough, isn't it? Come on, guys. We're not going to be like that, are we?
It's not even close. It's not even remotely close. Matter of fact, hey, Drew, you remember back to the beginning part of this year when you and I both kind of got harassed for having, something inside? We were told 80. We were told 80.
We were told 80, and then it got switched
around
on
that. And we absolutely got blitzed by it.
You sure did.
So now all of a sudden he wants to pick number 37, and everything's all hunky-dory. So, look, we need to figure this out. For crying out loud.
You're only $15,000 behind. Billy Horschel's not even going to make the cut this week, guys. His bucket's empty. He's played and played and played. Let him have him.
John, I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just here doing what I was instructed.
Well, okay, next week when Woloshin is back, though, I am wearing him out about taking Billy Horschel and number 37, and I'm going to bring up the first pick that both Drew and I had earlier in the year and the stink that was made for how far inside or the hold on. What was the word? It was
spirit of the spirit of.
So Billy Horschel at 37 is in the spirit.
John,
of?
if you could see the smile you're putting on Drew's face right now.
Oh, John, that's
the game is on now, boys. The game is on for next week.
Because Dave used that lingo, and I said, "That's right. That's exactly what it is." Because I texted from the Masters. Drew, did you not know what shock meant? Jimmy Walker, he won a major 2 years ago. Remember that text I sent you?
I do, but he was outside the top 80. He was like 105 at the time.
Yes, he was.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And so was Charlie Hoffman when I chose Charlie Hoffman.
He sure was.
I am officially questioning Dave's pick in the spirit of shock. How is Billy Horschel at 37 in the world a shock pick?
And remember how Dave cried about the system. So, man,
I am wearing him out next week.
Oh, that's beautiful. Have a great weekend. We know you'll have a lot of fun and good play down at Timber Trust. You'll have a big crowd all weekend. I love what you're doing in college football, John. I used to love before I was going all over the world every Saturday. I used to love that 7:30 play. Get through just in time when that JP game was coming on at 11:30.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great for our folks, our customers, to be able to come down, not get that early morning tea time. And worst case scenario, you're going to probably be done by about 12:45. You're going to miss about less than the first quarter of a noon kickoff football game, and go from there. So
and with cell phones now, you can call the bookie from the golf course. I didn't say that.
Listen, we're not trying to get into the whole gambling side of things. I mean, I'm sure everybody kind of does that.
Gambling at a golf course? Never heard of such, John.
Exactly. Yeah. Gambling is illegal at Timber Trust, sir.
Yeah, John, good deal, man.
Thank you, John. Have a good week. All right. Take care.
You, John.
Have a good weekend.
Fun statement, John. Going down at Timber Trust, long time out at TPC South, been with us every Wednesday for years now doing golf picks. I almost heard the official lodging of a complaint. Did you, Drew?
I heard a complaint, and I will second the complaint.
He was pretty, and the look on Drew's face. Drew was all in behind it too. I don't know what Dave has been doing this year, but I do know that this is the second time that I have picked for Dave. And it has been a bit of an issue.
It's been controversial. So,
Brett, as you well know, and John well knows, and I'm sure Austin does as well. In golf, whether you're wide out of bounds or just out of bounds, you're out of bounds.
And we call our own fouls.
And whether you tapped it and you didn't mean it, well, you tapped it, and that's a stroke.
That's right. I mean, spirit of.
It's a gentleman's game.
Spirit of.
We need to act like gentlemen.
When that ball's in the woods, it's in the woods, right?
Out of bounds, OB, whether inch and a half or 200 yards, OB, right?
Like I said, it's called a gentleman's game. Let's act like gentlemen and follow the rules.
So this title for Dave,
it's tainted.
Asterisk.
Of course.
Very tainted. The levels of the Hall of Fame, right?
Doesn't get in.
This is beautiful. I want him to win now. This will be great. Let's hit this break. We're really late. You're listening to Sports Time with Austin Eldridge, Wolo, and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. It's an exciting time to be a Memphis Tiger fan, and we at Five-Ash Roofing have decided to share our excitement. We are proud members of the Tigers home team, which means we sponsor the Tigers athletic department, and we're also season ticket holders to both the football and basketball programs. We will be giving away 2 and sometimes 4 tickets to most of the games this coming year. To have a chance at winning the tickets, find our Facebook page, like, and share our post. The more you share, the more chances you have to win. We also want to give away some tickets to those who wouldn't otherwise get a chance to go. So, you can go to memphisroofer.com or 5ash.com and send us a note why you or someone you know should get the tickets. And as always, 5Ash Roofing is fair, honest, and ethical. We're experts in all forms of roofing for both residential and commercial buildings. 5Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving, built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Jim Gaffigan, Secrets and Pies Tour.
Have you been to one of the weddings where the groom removes the girder belt from the bride and flings it to a crowd of perverts? Who came up with that one? Hey, you know the bride throws the bouquet? How about something for the fellas? Maybe the bride's underwear?
Jim Gaffigan, Saturday, August 17th, FedEx Forum. Reserve seats on sale now at the FedEx Forum box office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Man, I hate dealing with controversy. We have it, Drew. We have it. Dave just does not know the storm he's arriving home to. He's created.
The black clouds over the Flynn Broadcasting Center.
I mean, it's been about a year and a half since we had a really big standards meeting.
Standards and practice.
Standards and practices.
I mean, we almost had to kick CJ off the radio.
Yeah, we really did.
Uh-oh, what's CJ do? I do his show now. I need to know if he's committing malpractice.
It was in voting violation.
It was something.
Top 10, wasn't it?
Top 10, and then John kept
we
getting
could stick our standards in practice.
John almost got kicked out of the picking because he would pick games after they started.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one.
One time after a score was on the scoreboard.
It really happened. So we all had to get together.
Now that right there, that is malpractice.
But we love John, and we know he is a picker extraordinaire, and we also know he's honest. He was going.
Are we talking about our John?
Our John Harden. And see,
come on now, Harden.
I'm not as rough at the standards and practices committee as Drew and some others have been. Drew says I'm a big softy.
You are a big softy. I do believe that I wrote up about 5 pages worth of one complaint.
I did not realize there was a serious
I hired a lawyer
guidebook behind these shows.
I hired a lawyer.
Well, come on, Austin. It's propriety here.
Oh yeah, I mean
that's our middle name.
This is professional stuff. We don't mess around.
Hey, I mean I'm with you on it. Come on now, come on, Johnny. You can't be picking games after they start. No wonder he's so good at it.
But poor Dave. poor Dave. And this contest is really Dave's radio calling card. All the games he's done in the stupid golf picks, his calling card. I can't even say that with a straight face. but now for this to be tainted.
Yeah.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
It really is.
I don't know what he's going to do anymore. I mean, he's not going to have any credibility left.
We're going to talk Grizzlies preseason schedule. It's out. It's complete. 5 games, is that right?
Yes, and 3 of which are NBA teams and 2 are not, I believe.
And a Sunday afternoon game with one. Sunday, October 6th, I think we'll start. We'll go over all that officially released today. It feels like tomorrow, full NBA schedule. Has Peter alluded to that in the mornings?
He talked about the preseason a little bit this morning. He hasn't really alluded to the full schedule all that much yet, but I'm sure they're getting to it. He's not one to really.
Not tomorrow, Friday. Friday's more the day because we got it last year. We were at Belle Reve at the PGA. Basically had a full show plan with a lot of golf, and here comes the Grizzlies schedule a little bit early last year, and had to get ready with that. Look, all summer when
he did tease the Mike Conley return, however.
He did. When I've gone away all summer, I've always made sure to pack my Harry's razor and shave kit with me. I've loved the refreshing summer breeze I felt all summer against my face after a smooth shave with Harry's razor. One of the best ways to stay cool this summer, a close, comfortable shave with Harry's. Refresh your face and your wallet with blades as low as $2 each. Get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just use stats at harrys.com. Harry's believe you shouldn't have to trade quality for a low price. You deserve both, and you can get both, and you get a 100% guarantee with Harry's. If you don't like your shave, let them know. They'll give you a full refund. Harry's cares about quality. They care about giving back. 1% of sales are donated to charitable organizations. This summer, Harry's has a special offer for listeners of this show. New customers get $5 off a trial set from Harry's with code STATS at harrys.com. That means you get a razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping when you use code STATS at harrys.com. When you run out, remember Harry's replacement cartridges, just $2 each. When you shave, you need to shave like I do. You need to shave with Harry's. That preseason schedule, the first game's Sunday, October 6th. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe that's correct, yes. And that one is against, and I cannot remember the pronunciation of the team. It's one of the international teams they're playing.
Yeah, it is against Maccabi Haifa.
Yes.
An Israeli team, October 6th, 2 o'clock game. That'll be on the Sunday of NFL. But look, kind of the first look at the Grizzlies team this year, and then October 8th against the New Zealand Breakers.
And that is R.J. Hampton's club.
That will be a player that we thought might be a Memphis Tiger this year. Then 2 nights late, that'll be 2 nights later on October 8th after opening the 6th. October 14th against the Charlotte Hornets. And then October 16th, road game, Oklahoma City. Then October 18th, another road game against San Antonio. So you'll have all the preseason games played out over about 13 days.
Yeah, and 3 of them at home, only 1 of them at home against an NBA team. If I was a fan wanting to go to the game, I'd be curious on the New Zealand game because of R.J. Hampton. The rest of them, honestly, as far as preseason games are concerned, not a whole lot of big time games for the Grizzlies in the preseason.
I've never been to a preseason game.
I can't say I have either. Not in person.
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I can't. I'm busy at that time. But this year might be the year to go to see the new.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's a lot of new.
Obviously, a lot of excitement surrounding the team this year, so could definitely create some interest.
Yeah, and I think this year is going to be a challenge. I think it's going to be
no doubt
something in the high 20s, low 30s to win. But it's going to be fun watching the young staff and the young team start to develop. I think the Grizzlies are playing for the 21-22 season, the 2022 playoffs. And maybe just somehow get that lucky again in the lottery next year, maybe even James Wiseman, and be able to start forming something, to start thinking about a championship and further than they've ever advanced.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I'm not going to quite go that far yet with the Grizzlies team, but for sure, you got to have patience this year. This is not going to be a playoff team this year. They're too young, they're too inexperienced, and they've got to get through too many good teams.
And they really haven't sold the be patient stuff the last 2 years. Really, 2 years ago was one more time for old time's sake with grit and grind.
This is the first time, though, that they've had a front office in a while that has a very visible plan in place that they have made known. And that is a key factor in, I think, helping out the patience of the fans this year.
Feels like a very real plan, one that you can understand I didn't mean to do that. How did I do that with the Cardinals?
I was like, wait, what's good?
I hit the Cardinal out, and the YouTube live broadcast started playing. Sorry about that. Cardinals hanging precariously onto the 1-0 lead over the Dodgers, trying to salvage one at Chavez.
That
Ravine.
feels real safe, doesn't it?
No, although it looks like Michaelis and Flaherty are really worked out.
Flaherty 10 strikeouts today,
and that Wainwright better, but boy, you just can't hardly watch when you send Waka to the mound or a couple others.
It's amazing how far Waka has fallen from what we thought he was going to be and what he was in his first season.
We thought he would be mainstay of a staff for
a second
10 or 12
Chris
years.
Carpenter,
or at least Adam Wainwright, or at least
a prime,
Matt Morris.
Prime Wainwright. Wow, I tried to say prime and Wainwright in the same word, but
that's like giving those tickets away. Yeah. and I know you're not a cusser. It'd really be a malaprop.
Yes, that would be. Got to be careful there.
You do have to be careful. Yesterday we did our top college football games of the year, and we want yours, Austin.
Well, my top 12, I'm going to start off in several from right off the bat. Houston at Oklahoma, and I think that's a big game because of who the coach is at Houston now, Dana Holgorsen. Leaving a Big 12 school to go to Houston, not a move that most people would think was a good one, but if he wants to prove himself at Houston, that's a good chance to do it right off the bat.
Good chance, and it's at Norman. Houston got them in Houston, but not on campus. They got them at where we were last year for the Ole Miss opener. You and your wife were at that game. They got them there. That got Baker Mayfield that day, but this time at Norman.
Ole Miss at Memphis, a local game here, a big game for both of those teams, really to see where they are both going to be. Ole Miss.
I got this yesterday at the text line. Who's it bigger for?
I mean, in my personal opinion, I think it is bigger for Ole Miss.
I do too.
Because they need that win to be bowl eligible, I think. They definitely got to get 3 of those first 4, no doubt.
And remembering what happened last time at that setting.
And last time it was in Memphis, and it is a winnable game, and it is also it could be a season setter.
Now, Drew, tell me, among the Tiger faithful, how does that go over? Does that go over sounding complimentary? Does that go over sounding patronizing? Does that go over sounding respectful? Or does that just go over, or it doesn't go over at all? How does it go over?
Respectful. I think it's kind of the same thing I've said all offseason.
You're glad to be at this point, aren't you?
I'm glad that it's not just an over resounding. Of course, it's more important for Memphis. That's what it's always been like, at least from our standpoint, the way that Ole Miss fans have thought. But for me, I find it respectful that Ole Miss is actually seems to be putting so much weight into this game.
I think it's huge.
It's huge.
And I think with a win, if they win that day, the chance to go Memphis to Memphis, opening day, and potentially an AutoZone Liberty Bowl appearance. With a loss, I don't think a bowl. Well, still the 3-1 thing after 4 was big. Your next game.
All right, and I'll go through these quickly. I know we're running short on time here. Florida and Miami, big for both those teams. If Florida wants to compete with Georgia, you got to get past that first game right off the bat. Auburn and Oregon. Oregon, if they want a chance to be a college football playoff team, you got to win that one.
I had that on my list.
LSU at Texas in week 2. Is Texas back? Well, we're gonna find out. That's a home game for them.
Texas has talked about being back a lot.
They sure have. This is the chance to prove it.
And I know outside people put that on them. I don't know if that is much driven in their building by their coaching staff. Won't we know when they're back, and they won't have to tell us?
Yeah, they won't have to be talking about are they back. We'll know when they're back.
That's right.
And this is a year for Tom Herman. He better jump on it. A&M at Clemson. Last year, A&M played them really well. If Clemson wants to defend, that's a big game early. And then another Clemson game at Syracuse. That one, very potential trap game for Clemson. And I think Clemson is going to win. That's my prediction. But if they're going to lose a game, that is a strong possibility.
You, like a lot of people, very surprised yesterday when I said Clemson not only loses once, but loses twice and will be on the outside looking in this year. Yeah, I know with all they have on offense, I don't think they'll be able to stop anybody. Now, they may be able to score so many
The question marks on defense are valid.
Yep.
Very valid.
Now, one thing they do have on defense, they have Brent Venables.
Yes, they do. And he's been very consistent.
And he always puts a good squad out there.
Real quickly, the rest of them, Oklahoma and Texas in Week 7. That's going to be one midseason. We'll know by then if Texas is back, or at least we should.
Yeah, and that could kind of be double elimination for someone.
It could. Georgia and Florida, Week 10. Obviously, that could decide the eastern side representative in the SEC championship.
I had a cocktail party in there.
The Ohio State-Michigan game, of course, for Jim Harbaugh, that is the biggest game of the year for him.
Number one for me. What's the number on your list for it?
Oh, number one. I mean, I didn't have these in any particular order. This was just as far as I was going by week.
It's number one, and it kind of, it always has its place there.
Oh yeah, and for Jim Harbaugh, you got to win it. This is the year. If you don't win it this year, he might not ever beat him.
And if he doesn't win it this year, there's a lot of Michigan partisans that love him, that want it to work out, that they'll turn him off after this.
Yeah. Last two real quick, Washington and Oregon, because that could decide the Pac-12 championship representative from that side against Utah, because I think Utah has an easy run on their side. Mm-hmm. And the last one I threw in just kind of as a personal favor to myself, Army at Michigan. As a member of the United States Army, they had the best season they've ever had last year, and they're no slouch all of a sudden. They won 11 games last year, and that could be a early season trap. I'm not saying they're going to go into Michigan and win, but it's not out of the question.
Boy, if they did, what that does to Harbaugh.
Oh, and even at that point for Harbaugh, that number one makes the Ohio State game even bigger, and even with a win in that Ohio State game, still might be on the outside.
Now, I know it's hard to compare because of budget, because the United States Military Academy at West Point, they got the weight of the federal government.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But you know what I mean when it comes down to football priority and things like that. Aren't we all kind of an Army and Navy and Air Force booster?
Yeah, I would hope so. I certainly hope so.
No, I mean, quite literally, we are. On tax day, don't we make kind of a donation to those football programs?
And I can tell you, as a member of the military, we certainly appreciate it. And I contribute myself. I still got to pay.
Yeah, Army could get them early, and then the rest of their schedule, and that could make the CFP and put them in a tough spot waiting for that Navy game. I know we got to hit a break. When we come back, we'll continue this. 360-8255 at the First Bank text line, 67129 at the First Bank text line. Be a part of it. Message us at Sports56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Austin Eldridge in today. Dave will be back tomorrow. Drew doing the great job that he does every single day. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
It was great bumping into you the other day. I never see you outside of this place.
When did we bump into each other?
Saturday. We talked for like 5 minutes.
That was you?
My point is we should hang out more.
Let me guess.
At Central Barbecue. We could make it a regular thing.
I love Central Barbecue, and I go there a lot, but, I'm pretty busy.
We could be Central Barbecue buddies.
I got the morning show and lots of other radio things going on all the time.
People would see us, and they'd say, hey, there's those Central Barbecue buddies.
All right, I got kids.
Bring them along. We'll be a Central Barbecue crew.
I'm leaving the country.
Hey, Mid-South hunters and fishermen, the Duck, Buck, and Bass Sportsman Expo is coming to the Agri Center in Memphis August 9th through the 11th. Now, Friday is happy hour with beer and brats. Saturday and Sunday see special guest T-Bone from the hit TV show Bone Collector. Also see Frank Addington and his amazing archery show on stage all weekend. Watch Frank hit an aspirin as it's thrown in the air while shooting his bow behind his back. Plus, there's door prizes and giveaways all weekend. Win a $250 shopping spree to Final Flight Outfitters or a trail camera that sends text photos from Sniper Hunting Products. There is also a 3-day hunt of a lifetime from Trophy Club Outfitter of Indiana and a family 4-pack to the Talladega Speedway. And be sure to see the Sherp. It's the most ultimate ATV ever created, and they say that it's never been stuck. It's the Duck, Buck, and Bass Sportsman's Expo, August 9th through the 11th at the Agri Center in Memphis. Go to duckbuckandbassexpo.com for all the info. And remember, hunting and fishing, it's who we are.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We welcome you back, Dave. We'll be back tomorrow. And boy, look at the text line, 67129. 2019 golf pick champion Dave Woloshin with 10 asterisks, won by enhancements. Kind of
got to get him for PEDs.
Yeah.
Or PEEs, performance enhancing enhancements, I guess.
We really are, and he's just gonna come back and say, "Well, I thought it was in the rule. I thought he was at 40, or I wasn't clear on the rules."
I gave him the pass on it. He asked me this morning via text, "Where was Billy Horschel?" I said 37, close enough. So it's on.
So
me.
now I can't even throw the whole ignorance of the rules. Isn't an excuse.
I don't think John's going to care.
A formal complaint has been filed. It has been seconded by another member of the standards committee.
The board.
Yeah.
The board has spoken.
So
I could be in a lot of trouble as official documenter.
You could be. I mean, you're getting called to the stand.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We will have our NFL top 12 head coaches at 5:30 to start the 5 o'clock hour. We will do it with Patrick Garvin from the Rival site covering all things Bulldogs. We talk with Patrick periodically during the course of the year. He's on Twitter at Patrick Garvin, also author of 10 books, including Dogs Gone Wild, and that's a great read. Patrick with the real insight on all things Georgia Bulldogs, and they have one goal this year.
Beat Alabama.
Be standing at the end.
Win that SEC championship.
You got tickets to give away.
I do. I have one. I'm going to give away one pair now, and I'll give one more away in the third hour, but this time I'm going to make it a little easier on you, Drew, because I know how it is. The first person to text in that says, "I want the tickets," you're going to get a pair of tickets to the Duck, Buck, and Bass Sportsman's Expo, August 9th through 11th. It is a pair of tickets. They are good for any of the 3 days. You can go to whichever day you like. The first person to text in at the First Bank text line, 67129, just say, "I want the tickets." If you're the first one, Drew will message you back and ask for your information, and or one of us will message you back and ask for your information, and you will have this pair of tickets.
67129, First Bank text line. First one, you're the winner of those tickets. 2020 SEC schedules out, complete, home and road dates, all that good stuff. No times. We only get those about 2 hours before game time. It seems like
TBA.
Sometimes that 6-day window. I love that. And next year, Georgia and Alabama will meet regular season. We could get potentially a lot of Georgia.
When was the last time they played in the regular season?
I can answer that. In the 2005 season, I saw.
Wow, it's been that long.
Has it been that long? I think so. I saw them in Tuscaloosa in the 2002 season. It might have been 2003. No. They've 2005, 6, 7 in there.
But it's been at least 13, 14 years.
But it's been a while, and that's how we've done it now. We've balkanized SEC schedules. We don't see each other near often enough. I think that's a shame. It's like we're not even in the same league with a lot of people. But you could see Georgia and Bama play this year SEC championship game, rematch in the playoffs, and then regular season next year, and maybe again – in the postseason. That's a lot of Georgia Bama.
Boy, I'll tell you, Kirby Smart is going to have his chances.
He will. We got a winner.
We do have a winner.
I want the tickets. I'm trying to go to Winsipedia and see exactly when Georgia and Bama played last. Historically, they've never played that much. It's not one of the old line rivalries with a lot of games. It was one of the odd things ever. In Herschel Walker's 3 years at Georgia, 80, 81, 82, never played the Bear. They never met. He never played Bama in college. Georgia played him with what would have been his junior year, but he was gone. They played then. But no, it hadn't been, it's not one of those, and being at West and East now for 26 years, it's not one of those where they played 80 times or even 50 times.
They haven't played all that much.
No, they haven't.
40 and 25.
I wouldn't have thought it was that much. Last game was
Bama. Last game was, let's see here. Trying to find it. I see.
Are you at Winsipedia?
Yes.
Click on the game by game.
Game by game.
For all games.
Trying to find it here.
Right-hand corner. I'm not there.
Okay, here we go. Full games list. There we go.
Mine's a little slow.
Their last meeting.
Regular season, it looks like,
was let's see, they met in Athens, which I would assume would be their last regular season meeting. 2015.
Oh, that's right. They sure did.
38-10 Alabama.
The big blowout. Yeah.
And then before that, it
were
was
at Florida that day.
2008, 41-30 Alabama. Alabama's on a 5-game win streak.
Okay.
In that one.
And
before that, though, you were getting pretty close. 2008 and then 2007 in Tuscaloosa. Georgia won that one.
Yeah, and I went to a pretty wild one in 04 in Tuscaloosa. 02 maybe?
02.
Okay.
27-25. Georgia actually won 3 in a row, 02, 03, 07.
Okay.
And those were all regular season games.
Yeah,
and then
in 2015, if you now I remember, my old brain's
yeah, I had totally forgotten about that.
That was the day the Georgia guys got out there and kind of welcomed Bama on the field, woofing a little bit at them. Bad move.
If it's one thing you should learn watching college football, it's don't talk trash to Alabama before the game. It doesn't usually end well.
And now just seeing this cross on Twitter, Richard Cross, he tweets out former Ole Miss quarterback Jordan Ta'amu just signed a free agent deal with the Houston Texans.
How about that?
Of
course, Deshaun Watson hopefully got a long career ahead of him. He's a good quarterback.
Just make the team.
But just make the team. Be out there, get you some time.
And when he was out there and healthy, he was really good.
He can sling it.
And he could tuck it and run it, but got hurt last year, and they were kind of coaching around him running it too much. 1 hour to go, we started talking Georgia Bulldog football with Patrick Garvin, one of the best from Rivals. Austin Eldridge in today. Dave will be back tomorrow. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
It's happened again. Miramichi, that heaven in Woodstock, 15 miles north of downtown Memphis. Miramichi has been made the #1 public golf course in the state of Tennessee. 15 minutes from downtown, all this natural beauty, this very tough test of golf is there for you, and it's #1 again. They've improved again, too. They've made changes. They always do. They want you to have the best golfing experience you could possibly have, and they keep on making these adjustments. They've knocked down some trees. They made it easier. They have better conditions with grass. The greens, outstanding. And once again, they are #1. I also should tell you they've got new golf carts, and they've got these cool little things where you hook up your phone, it'll charge, and at the same time, you've got GPS on your phone. All kinds of innovation and a world-class golfing experience at Miramichi in Woodstock.
John Burgess was still in the afterglow of a very successful golf tournament.
Brett, I want to convey my sincere thanks to Daryl Smith and his staff at Jack Sammons and the board and CBS for putting on such a great golf tournament. Not only did we see great golf and saw Memphis and St. Jude painted in such a positive way, we got to show Memphis as the great foodie town that it is, from Andrew Michael to barbecue. And I especially want to express my appreciation for the cooperation shown by all the barbecue places at the pit. Even though we're competitors, we certainly work together to produce great barbecue. Especially I want to thank Walker Taylor with Germantown Commissary, Elizabeth Blondis with Central Barbecue, Ernie Meller with Hog Wild, and Pat Donahue and our staff at the Rendezvous. Dining out in Memphis is one of my great pleasures. Of course, we want everyone to come to the Rendezvous, but don't forget all the other great food establishments where all our friends and family work hard every day putting out great products and quality service. Food is one of those understated assets the world needs to know about Memphis.
The Rendezvous since 1948 in the alley in downtown Memphis.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Dave will be back tomorrow. Austin Elder's in today for Dave. We visit with Patrick Garvin to talk the Georgia Bulldogs. He's with Rivals and GeorgiaSports.com and author of 10 books, including Dogs Gone Wild. We will visit with him about the big year in front of them and maybe finally win a national championship and maybe even a Heisman Trophy for someone at Georgia since Herschel Walker. This hour brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. They specialize in late model cars with low mileage, very high standards at DeSoto Auto Sales. All the cars test-driven, thoroughly checked out, head to toe, bumper to bumper, all points in between, and an unlimited inventory at DeSoto Auto Sales. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. You walk in, you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid back, down-home environment, no high-pressure sales at DeSoto Auto Sales, but they do care about your time and want you to have the ultimate car experience. You walk in, paperwork, test drive your car, credit approved, you're gone in about 45 minutes. Check out the referrals at DeSotoAutosales.com. They know we're living in a world today that time matters. They know that, and they want to take care of you and make sure you have a timely process in buying your new car. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area at DeSoto Auto Sales. Again, check out the referrals at DeSotoAutosales.com, 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County to DeSoto Auto Sales for that town and country experience on Goodman Road. Patrick Garvin talks Georgia Bulldogs with us. He keeps up with Georgia like very few can do it. Patrick, I love the thoroughness, and you can tell the love in keeping up and following Georgia. And this year, it could be that magical year finally for the Bulldogs. Good afternoon. Welcome in with us.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Brett, Austin. How you guys doing?
We're doing
Appreciate,
well.
You having me on.
What's the pressure threshold for Kirby? He wants it high. He feeds off of it.
He does, and some feel it's. I mean, already it's maybe it's about time. Just even though just entering his fourth year, this year could be really special. The talent. I mean, I've been following Georgia football since the early '80s when I was just a little kid, and I don't. There's definitely not been as much talent on, let's say, the top 44 players that I can remember. And Georgia's had some really
sure have
good teams. But, when you're finishing, third, first, second, first, whatever in recruiting, that's eventually going to, pan out. And, I remember growing up, a lot of those Florida State teams in Florida too, used to hear how they would lose a lot of guys, but they would just reload. And that's what Georgia's been doing here. And, like I said, although they did lose some pieces, including one here recently to getting dismissed, there's just so much talent already in play.
And what's on the way? What's being recruited in the offensive line for the next 2 and 3 and 4 years? It's astounding.
Well, Georgia they got 3 offensive linemen that are currently in the Rivals 100 for 2020. In other words, the top 100 kids in the country. There's a good chance they're going to get a 4th one. That has never been done in the Rivals era beginning in 2002. The second times a team has had 3 offensive linemen who were Rivals 100, including Georgia in 2017, Tennessee 02, a couple Southern Cal teams, but never 4. And that shows you, Brett, I think we've talked before about this, that, when Kirby came in December of 2015, the first thing he said is, man, we got to get bigger. Our line, that was a problem. That was a problem under Coach Rick. He mostly focused on skill set positions. And, that's how they build this foundation of offensive linemen. And the defensive line is hopefully, for Georgia fans, going to start to catch up. But it's almost staggering Well, it is staggering. The offensive lineman Georgia's been able to sign the last few seasons.
Well, and Patrick, speaking of Mark Richt, we were talking a little bit ago about Georgia and Alabama, of course, the team that they are looking up to. And this is a pretty pressure-packed year for Kirby Smart. Almost feels like the most pressure he's had with still haven't got over that hump with Alabama. Felt like he may have had him last year and just couldn't get over it. And now Dan Mullen in Florida really starting to breathe down their neck a little bit. He's had a little bit of time to get that team good. The Mark Richt and Kirby Smart, almost identical records to this point in their career, but Mark Richt, of course, getting run out because he couldn't get over that SEC championship hump. What do you see as, is this a kind of a gotta get it this year type of year for Kirby with Florida starting to get so good, or does he still have a good bit of a leash left?
I think with Kirby, and it goes back to recruiting. Let's say, by some, just horrible set of circumstances, Georgia goes 9-4 or something this year. There's still no. There would be pressure next year, especially because they do lose a good bit next year, especially some of these juniors who are believed to be they may go pro early. I think the pressure is, though, this team. So Georgia's ranked 3rd in the country. Only one other time have they been preseason ranked higher. That was in 2008 when they were number 1. And you've lost to Bama twice in a row, one for the national title, one for the SEC title. When you had double-digit leads in the second half for both games. So I think there's that pressure, hey, he needs to, let's see if we can finally get this whole thing together. But as far as like a do or die, hey, you better win a national title this year, it'd be more so disappointment than
led by him, led by Kirby.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And that's why, he's hard on his team, but yet he's hard on himself. And then in the end, it's a good recipe, and it makes, he doesn't put up with foolishness. If you're only going to halfway do things, you're not going to be around long at all, or you just won't play, no matter your talent. And guys have gotten weeded out, and what's been left is still plenty of talent. And guys that truly want to win. I just know this. I interviewed guys in 14 and 15 and have been doing it in 16, 17, 18, and now 19. And there's just a different attitude, a different these guys have different almost personas of they want to win. They desperately, and they know they're talented enough, and they know they go out and practice, and the defensive linemen, they know they're going up against the best offensive line in the country. So
and
it's making them better.
And that's kind of the Bama way, the Bama template that he set there. We have Barrett Jones on with us, and I've said to him and through the years, and he knows that he lived it. There's no practices in college football like the Tuesday, Wednesday practices at Alabama because they they got the next one over there. They got the best kind of pressure you can have on a team. They've got reserves that are ready to play, and that's what Georgia. That's how they're modeling it now, and that's how Kirby's doing it. Really on both sides. What's the strength of this team, offense or defense?
It's their offense. Although the defense may not be as far behind as some might think. I think some real newcomers, whether JUCO transfers or true freshmen, may stand out on defense. But with the offensive line, I mean, there could be two guys that were considered starters at one point that might be second string this year. I mean, there's that
good problem
deep. They got DeAndre Swift, but yet if Swift comes out, they have a stable of backs. The quarterback is one that you need to hope that Fromm stays healthy, because I think there is a big drop from 1 to 2, probably even more so than you would think, like on paper, or if you maybe talk to somebody else.
And that's kind of true for everybody.
Yeah, I think even though the receivers that return, that combined they caught 13 passes last year, but yet in fall practice, I from what we've seen in 4 practices, I think they may be the most standout group I've noticed. So, like I said, there's just talent there. Now, when they lace it up against Vandy in late August to kick off the season, we'll see to some degree, if some of these true freshmen can step up. But yeah, the offense could be, very special this season.
Well, Patrick, Georgia has Notre Dame at home this year. That's a team that obviously is going to need to win that game if they want to be.
That game circled.
That game is definitely circled. They have South Carolina at home, on the road at Florida, Missouri at home, on the road at Auburn, Texas A&M at home. If other than Alabama, of course, that's obviously the number one game at the end of the year.
And it's not on the schedule.
And it's not on the schedule yet. What are of those big games for Georgia? Which one would you be most concerned about if you're Georgia, as far as possible trap game or one that they have a pretty legitimate chance of losing?
I think one that could be concerning. So in the past, I guess since Missouri came into the East in 2012, what has happened is that next to last game. For example, last year it was UMass. Another year it was Georgia Southern. Well, this year it's Texas A&M. It's different. And I know that 2017 team, eventually things kind of caught up with it, and their lone loss in the regular season, they got drilled at Auburn. I think if I'm a Georgia fan, I'm not too worried about that Auburn game. I'm worried about the one after that and before Georgia Tech, and that's Texas A&M at home. I mean, I think I saw that Georgia's an early, 13, 14-point favorite, which is about right. But and I know, but Texas A&M last year, they really they bucked a trend of A&M always faltered in November under someone. Last year under Jimbo, they actually did, if you include their bowl and all that, did pretty well. And that's the one game I could almost see Georgia, have smoked almost everybody and come in that game, ranked 1, 2, 3, whatever it be. And I could see there could be, even though it's at home, there could be some issues with the Aggies.
Yeah,
that'd be the one I'd really focus on.
A&M really got better at game over game. Heck, when we played when Ole Miss played down there in November, that game was there to be won. I'm not making excuses. I'd like to play that whole game with a healthy Scotty Phillips, but it was still kind of a wild, fun finish. But the door was open to win that game, and usually A&M would give that away in November, but not under Jimbo Fisher. I know that week when they play, you can write this and you can talk this a lot. That Nick Saban staff at LSU that had Jimbo and Kirby on it and many others. What a staff!
Oh, you mean in the mid-2000s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what year Kirby was there. Well, he was there that would have been like when they won the title.
Yeah, they were all together.
Right?
That would have had Will Muschamp would have been there. Derek Dooley might have been on that staff. It was some staff. We're visiting with Patrick Garvin talking the Georgia Bulldogs. Okay, historically, we know Herschel's place in college football lore and Georgia football history. I think he would I think he would take some of the questions about him and about his playing days off of him if finally Georgia won it. Could Jake Fromm go the Heisman Trophy route and win it and a national championship in the same year?
I think so. In fact, so a lot of talk around here in Athens is, Georgia they got two Heisman contenders. There's Fromm and then there's DeAndre Swift, the running back, and I immediately think I think Swift has little shot just because of all the other guys that are in that stable, as I mentioned earlier. And let's face it, Georgia's going to be beaten on a good number of opponents, most likely, this season. So there may be several games where Swift gets less than 10 carries. But Jake Fromm, even and a lot of this was, is because you do take a step down with your second and third quarterbacks, that being Stetson Bennett, a redshirt sophomore, and true freshman DeJuan Mathis, who first committed to Ohio State. But there's no Justin Fields backing him up this year.
He's
where
in Columbus.
Georgia kind of felt, they had to kind of give him some playing time off and on, last year. So it's Fromm's team. He's going to stay in games, and I think Georgia has a good shot to be perfect in the regular season. If not 11-1, be perfect. And I think Fromm, he's one of those kids. He's not going to regress.
That's where I am
at all.
I'm there with I'm there with Georgia. 12-0, and Jake Fromm's my Heisman pick.
Yeah, and you see it with 30 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions last year, and it could be I could see it happening. Him being a Heisman, and I'm trying. A Georgia player hasn't finished in the top 10. A Georgia offensive player hasn't finished in the top 10 in the Heisman voting since I think Garrison Hurst came in third in 1992. Should have won it, I might add. But that's neither here nor there. But
Gino Torretta got it that year.
Followed by Marshall Faulk, who had less yards and less touchdowns and ran against whacked defenses compared to Hurst. Anyway, so it would kind of be a big deal, almost for a Georgia offensive player just to place in the top 10. But I think Fromm does have a chance. I agree, Brett.
Real quick, Patrick, the SEC released their 2020 schedules today, and Georgia, not necessarily a brutal schedule, so to speak, but a tough start. They're playing 3 games in about a 12-day, 13-day span, and one of those being Alabama, at Alabama for the first time in the regular season since 2015. How is number one, is it good getting Alabama that early in the season? I think that's a good place to have them, but having those games that quick, do you think that affects Georgia at all next year?
Since I mentioned that the team could be, depleted. There's talk that Fromm could leave early and whatnot. You're right. All of a sudden, you're playing 3 games in a span of, less than 2 weeks, like you said. That could at the end with Bama, that could be difficult. But yes, you're right at the same time, because you want to talk about teams losing guys. Bama in 2020, it could be like that 2010 Alabama team that had there was some talent, but they went 10-3.
Yeah,
so it's good that Georgia's catching. I will say, I tell you, for the historic guys like me, this schedule's kind of neat because you're playing Virginia on Labor Day. Georgia's only played on Labor Day twice, and that both times in the 80s. And Georgia will be playing Auburn during the regular season, not in November, for the first time since 1936. So that they play them, I think, in late October.
Yeah, I remember a Mike Sheila late touchdown pass on a Labor Day.
You're right.
One time, Patrick.
Labor Day, 1985. Georgia won the first one, 82, against defending national champion Clemson. But yeah, 3 years later, lost to Shula and Bama 20-16 on a. You're right, last second touchdown.
Yeah,
pass.
on ABC on national TV.
Yeah.
Patrick, it is always great to catch up with you. We got to do it a bunch during the year. We got to go, but I want to give you not going to lose, and it's not even going to be uncomfortable with 8 minutes to play. But the look ahead factor is going to be natural for everybody in the Georgia world the week before Notre Dame. Blake Anderson in Arkansas State, very good program, and now he's the dean of Sun Belt coaches at a place that couldn't keep a coach. It was just a conveyor belt of head coaches parlaying it into big jobs. He got there. He stayed there. He's done him a good job. And I know Arkansas State's looking forward to coming down and playing between the hedges. Patrick, thank you. We'll catch up a bunch during the season.
Thank you, Patrick.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
You got it. Talking Georgia football with Patrick Garvin, and he is a font of information, isn't he?
Boy, he knows Georgia. I mean, knows them like the back of his hand.
He knows, and he doesn't have Winspedia in front of him.
No, he knows all that without having to look, I think. Real quick, going to give away the last pair of tickets I've got today for the Duck, Buck, and Bass Sportsman's Expo. I got to be real slow when I say that every time because I do not want to slip up. 2 more tickets. It's one pair of tickets, and the second caller, I'll make it easy on Drew. The second caller who calls in and says they want these tickets, you will get the last pair. So the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255. You can have them, and they are good for any day of the Expo. It is August 9th through 11th. That is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So call them up, and you can have them.
Of course, it finished in cruel and unusual style at Dodger Stadium today. The Cardinals lose 2-1 in a walk-off bottom of the ninth hit for the Dodgers. At least that's over.
It's unbearable. The second caller, yes.
Flaherty was really good. 10 strikeouts, 7 innings pitched. And
have you noticed they never score runs for him? He has allowed.
Don't score a lot for anybody.
He did not allow a run today. So in his last 6 starts, and this is counting the start that he had, the one game they won against the Astros, I believe it was Chicago. It was one of those games.
Yeah, he won. That was his first win since May 14th.
He has allowed 4 earned runs in 6 games, and yet he's only gotten the 1 win out of it.
And I think the Cubs are getting things worked out. They win again. They blast the A's. They got blasted last night, but they paid them back today. Quintana, the winner, his 10th win of the year. The Cubs win 10-1 over the A's. Touchdown and both extra points good for the Astros. 14-3 over the Rockies.
They're good.
75-40 for the Astros. Garrett Cole wins again. He was mine and Dave's preseason Cy Young for the American League, and he might be rolling to it. 11-7, Braves win the rematch of the 91 World Series. They win 11-7 over the Twins. Braves move to 68-48. Twins drop to 70-44. 8-1 White Sox over the Tigers.
They got Cleveland looking in their rearview mirror pretty close, too.
They do, and I think Cleveland's a better team. Cleveland goes out and wins 2-0 today. They win a National League-type game in Cleveland over the Rangers, 2-0 over Texas. Cleveland wins. That makes Cleveland 67-46. 21 over 500. Blue Jays over the Rays 4-3 in that game, and Mets 7-2 over the Marlins.
The Mets are coming.
Maybe the hottest team in baseball.
They're about to overtake. I hate to say this. They're about to overtake the Cardinals in that fighting for that last wild card spot.
In the all-important wild card spot. Cardinals trail in the loss column by 1. The Mets trail the Phillies now by 2. 6 in a row for the Mets.
They are 19-6 since the All-Star break, I believe.
13 out of the last 14.
They're rolling.
They are cooking, and they
Mickey Callaway might have saved his job.
Yeah, or is the GM making all the calls?
That's a question.
He's very involved. The wild card race, it's going to be fun in the National League. Can the Cardinals really stay in that? Looks like the Nationals will get one of those two, and pretty wide open for the others. Don't count out Arizona.
Boy, I know I did, and it was a mistake, it looks like. I don't know about you guys. I counted the Nationals out once Harper left. I didn't think they really had much, even though they had Scherzer.
I didn't. I picked them as a National League wild card with the Brewers were my two NL wild cards.
Well, that looks like you had it very correct, sir.
And I had Cardinals in the Central. They won't. I had Dodgers in West. That was easy. Everybody did.
Yeah.
And I had Braves in the East. American League had Yankees, Cleveland, Houston.
You almost got it. Cleveland's coming on.
With wild cards being Boston and the Angels. The Angels get me every year.
Boston's going to get you this year, it looks like, which I'm not afraid,
sad over it.
Not afraid to admit I'm not sad over that one.
Not sad over it either. I think Alex Cora thought it was going to be that easy every year.
I think he thought he was going to walk in and just start rolling.
It may never be that easy again for him. He may manage 20 years there.
He's about to find out what that Boston media is like, though.
All I can tell him is remember how they treated Terry Francona. We take this break. Austin Eldridge in today for Dave. He's back tomorrow. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Summer fun calls for summer snacks, and Family Dollar has your favorites. Get 2 bags of Cheetos or Hostess Snack Cake multi-packs for only $5. Download Smart Coupons this week and clean up with OxyClean laundry detergent for only $1.95 or Palmolive dish soap for $1. And save even smarter. Get $5 off your $25 purchase with coupon. Find these deals and more on our app or visit FamilyDollar.com today.
With everything happening downtown, it's great to know whatever you're going downtown to do, your choice for dinner is already made. It's 117 Prime. At 117 Union, Prime is the most centrally located fine dining destination in downtown Memphis, and make no mistake about it, whatever you're having at Prime, it is going to be fine dining. The chefs at Prime pride themselves on creating the best food you could hope for, all in the perfect location. No matter where you're going downtown, 117 Prime is an easy walk, but to make things even easier, Wednesday through Saturday, Prime offers valet service starting at 5 p.m.
Somewhere recently I read this statement. Most of the 500 wealthiest Americans got their money the old-fashioned way. They inherited it. That may be the case with money, but it is not true with the most important things in life. It's not true of character. Of course we're influenced in character by our parents, but our own character is our own doing, our own choices, the way we choose to live. We may inherit money, but we do not inherit faith. Someone put it in a catchy line. God has no grandchildren. Faith must be firsthand, personal, appropriated by each person. Too many of us are seeking to live on borrowed faith. The 500 wealthiest Americans may have gotten their wealth the old-fashioned way, by inheriting it, but we don't get character and faith that way. They're not inherited, they're personally claimed and cultivated. I'm Shane Stanford with Christ Church Memphis. Remember, you matter.
Visit ChristchurchMemphis.org.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Here once again
are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Do I hear the rumbling outside? How bad is it?
As far as rainfall goes,
I can't see it.
It doesn't look
There's some
that bad
thunder
rainfall-wise, but the thunder is getting there.
I thought I heard that.
I was getting updates on my phone, severe weather warning, and I was like, what in the world? Where'd it come from?
67129.
Well, it's Brett's fault. He had to bring up the fact that Timber Trust has been dry all week.
So it's got to be my fault.
It is your fault.
Boy, Drew, you're going to haul me in front of the Standards and Practices Committee?
I'm sorry, Brad. It's just one of those days.
You got to let CJ know I'm in trouble.
I will. I'll let him know.
67129 at the First Bank text line, 360-8255 at the First Bank phone line. Talking college football. Are you? You don't have to give your complete prediction today, but you're out there, Georgia, to win the East, aren't you?
Yeah,
That's
I have them undefeated.
Yeah, me too.
I think Florida's good, but I have Florida second.
I got Bama undefeated. I got Georgia undefeated. I got them both in the college football playoff. Two teams from the SEC, and
there's just no way I can pick against Bama.
And I figured out a way to get LSU as a potential third team in the college football playoff.
Didn't you figure out yesterday how Florida would get into?
I have. I'm trying to figure out
4 SECs. Boy, that would cause an uproar.
It would, and I don't think it would be healthy for the sport. But the College Football Playoff Committee, they have said their mission statement: the 4 best teams.
Yep.
If the best 4 teams come from the Big Sky Conference, well, they couldn't because they're FCS. But if they all come from the Big Ten, I almost want, before we expand, and we will eventually, I think it'll be more toward the end of this contract life than people think. It's not going to be next year, no matter how tumultuous this year ends. I almost hope the year that we got more than 2, because we've already had 2 from the SEC, we get 3 from somewhere, be from somewhere else to insulate the SEC a little bit from that whole SEC privilege, ESPN garbage. If it falls out that, it falls out that.
Yeah, and you can already eliminate. I've already eliminated the Pac-12 from the college football playoff in my mind.
See, I've got Washington sneaking in there this year
because I think Utah is going to win the Pac-12.
That's why I had that as I had that as my 4th.
But I don't think they're going to escape without a loss. And if you lose a game in the Pac-12, you're done.
Drew knows when I go this verbiage. I like to say pound for pound coaching jobs turned in. And when I use that, Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern is the prototype. He's the archetype of that. That coach at Utah, Kyle Whittingham, it's up there. Yeah. What he does year in and year out with really good football teams.
Oh, and it's underrated because of where he is.
To crickets a lot of times.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I have watched some of their primetime games, late night games where they have the blackout or the whiteout, the things that they do. And when that place is full,
it rocks.
It is rocking.
It is. And I you just said you did. I love, when the day's over, that last game of the day.
Oh, yeah.
I love those games on a late Saturday night to watch those games.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun football. It really is. I enjoy it.
And in Pac-12, that idea of playing that early in the morning, bad idea.
Horrible idea.
What that would do to student life, attendance, the feel around campus.
They're already talking about losing students and losing attendance. You start playing a 9 a.m. game, you can forget people showing up.
If you had one thing that you would point to that has caused the dip in attendance, and people are scared this year could be off the table at a lot of places, the big dip this year, what's the one thing you would attribute it to?
It's so tough to narrow it down to one thing. If I had to narrow it down to one thing, it is probably just the fact that it's expensive.
Cost.
It's expensive to go.
You can talk all the Wi-Fi and the bad popcorn. Look, we maybe not had bad Wi-Fi 30 years ago. We didn't, but we had bad popcorn 30 years ago. It's always been a hassle to park around the stadium.
And it's expensive to park as well. Yeah, especially for a big guy. Ole Miss and Memphis tickets are like, I don't know, $60, I think, from the school, respective schools. And that's not counting your parking. And that's a small game, so to speak. It's not a conference game. You go Alabama-Auburn, you're looking at paying in the hundreds. Something like that. It's expensive to go.
It is outrageous, and you pay a lot for that parking place, and you're 2 miles from your seat. You're still a long way from getting getting into the ballpark.
And then you got to pay $6 for a water.
Yeah,
that
concessions are ridiculous.
Pure sinful. Pure sinful. Charge to with a straight face to charge somebody for water.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're talking about concessions being high, parking being high. Early season, it's hot. So
give us something. Don't get us coming and going. Okay, make that ticket price, that ducket price, make it outrageous. Fine. Okay, good. You're going to really,
but be all inclusive.
But then when I get there, I can at least get. Let's go crazy and say $1 water.
Yeah. See, I'm okay paying
$2 water.
I'm totally okay going down to Oxford, paying $150 for a ticket to see him play an SEC opponent. If I can know I'm not going to have to pay $60 to park and $8 for a Coke. But I mean, that's crazy.
Now, most places rightfully will say, we can't control what off-site parking what they charge. No, you can't control it, but there could be some remedy to if you showed up with a valid receipt that you just paid $60 to park. How about a couple of Cokes?
Yeah.
When you get inside the stadium.
Texter points out parking at Bama isn't. I wasn't saying the parking was $100. I was talking about the ticket price for a game is exorbitant, and then you still got to pay to park is what I was meaning by that. So,
yeah, and you can park a long way from the stadium at all these places. But it's still so much fun to go. But they've got to get a handle on the pricing structure because I think you're cutting out a generation.
Well, and with the technology and the entertainment that we have today, people with multiple TVs in their homes, a lot of times, they can sit at home and watch 3 or 4 games at once for free, and then they can see the game they wanted to see plus others, and they don't have to pay anything for it.
Now, I do think all the amenities there, like Wi-Fi and all that good stuff for the
it would certainly
the times
help.
we're living in, you need that, but it's not costing them that much.
And you bring up the Wi-Fi. It's not like the Wi-Fi band is so great that everybody's phone still works. It still just jams up just as much as it regularly does.
It's crapshoot.
The texter who brought up that parking at Bama isn't $100. He said you can park for $20-$30. $20-$30 to park my car is ridiculous in the first place.
Well,
anything over 10 is I'm not doing it. I'll go around.
And think about what we just kind of normalized. I mean,
$20-$30 is normal. That's crazy.
Austin, you said I'll pay $150. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money to a lot of people. 20, 30, and I know Texter's probably not saying it's ho hum, but 20. He was making the point. It's not 100. I get you. I hear you loud and clear. But 20, 30, we're okay by that. I just got down to $2 water being okay. Water, and go ahead and get it out of the tap.
Yeah, it
cost me $10 to buy a beer when I can go to the store and buy a 6-pack for $7.50.
Hey, I'm living life dangerously. I said a while ago, I'm never buying water again. If tap water kills me, then I was meant to go.
Yeah, and season tickets are there, and schools wonder why they're losing season ticket sales. You got to put down a donation, and it's several $100s for certain, for the seats.
Usually one lump sum usually comes right on the heels of maybe a not so good season.
Yeah, and then you still got to put down that seat donation on top of that. Like, people don't, if you're not making 6 figures a year, it's hard to drop that kind of money on entertainment.
It is, and I know it was taxing on my parents, and when they went as young people, and then taking us, it was never easy. But now, I think some of the pricing structure is just absolutely it's an insult to our intelligence. I mean, to look at that and to try to go and have fun, and that's what it costs. All right, we got to get to our coaches. NFL top 12 head coaches. We got to go pretty quickly. Who wants to go first, Drew or Austin? Who goes first?
Go ahead, Drew. I'll let you go.
Fire away.
I'll go. Starting at 12. At 12, I have Bill O'Brien from the Houston Texans. 11, Ron Rivera from
I got
Carolina.
Riverboat 11.
Number 10, Don Quinn from Atlanta.
I got Quinn 11.
Or that's 10.
Dan Quinn.
Okay. Number 9 is Sean McVay from the Rams.
Wow, I've got McVay 11.
Number 8, John Gruden from the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Doug Peterson with the Eagles. Number 6, Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. 5, John Harbaugh with Baltimore. 4, Andy Reid with KC. 3, Pete Carroll with Seattle. 2, Sean Payton in New Orleans, and, of course, Bill Belichick at number 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I have a lot of different.
All right, Austin, tell us
here.
your difference.
You have some on the list I didn't even have on the list. See, this was a tough one for. Okay, I'll start from the top. Number 1, Bill Belichick. I don't know how you could not put him there. Number 2, I have.
If he hadn't earned that, then
yeah,
we need to pull the plug on the whole
I have Sean McVay at number 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Defending Super Bowl champion and has turned the Rams around.
Defending runner-up in the Super Bowl.
Did I say champion? I meant runner-up, yeah. Number 3, I have Doug Peterson with the Eagles. Number 4, Sean Payton, New Orleans Saints. Number 5, Andy Reid.
Y'all are a little bigger on Andy Reid than I am.
Number 6, I have Pete Carroll.
Okay.
In there. Number 7, Mike Tomlin. Number 8, Matt Nagy. Or Nagy, I never can remember how to pronounce it.
With the Bears.
With the Bears. And I think this year's going to prove that. Number 9, Frank Reich with the Colts.
Very bold.
Very bold. I'm living on the edge with mine. Number 10, Bill O'Brien with Houston. Drew is giving me just dirty looks.
Y'all
over
are
there.
big on Bill O'Brien.
Number 11. Now, my last 2 may surprise both of you. Not that I haven't already surprised Drew, apparently. Sean McDermott.
With the Bills.
With the Bills. I don't know. I think he's a good coach.
Okay.
I think he's got a bad team. Yeah, I'm getting some. Boy, Drew,
just so you know,
Drew is
only one coach that I have in my top 12 has not coached in a Super Bowl, and that's Bill O'Brien, who I had at 12. Every other one has been in the Super Bowl the last 10 years.
And I don't know this, but maybe historically, this may be the biggest number of coaches that can say, I've been to the ultimate game. Might have lost, but they've been there. Your number 12 is?
Number 12 is Anthony Lynn.
Good coach. Got to the AFC divisional round last year and got
Drew is mad because I didn't put John Harbaugh in there.
All right,
but the Ravens
he
are
won
bad.
a Super Bowl. We won the division last year, man. Come on.
He's not going to win it this year.
I have Harbaugh 4. I mean, what he's done over that career. Number 1, Bill Belichick. 2, I know hadn't been a lot lately, but over the course of his career, Mike Tomlin, 2, former Tigers assistant, former Arkansas State assistant, Mike Tomlin. 3, Pete Carroll. 4, John Harbaugh. 5, Sean Payton. 6, Doug Peterson. Was really torn between these 2 in the tiebreaker. He's got a Super Bowl. It was with the Buccaneers, and the other one doesn't. I go John Gruden, 7. I go 8, Andy Reid. 9, Sean McVay. 10, Danny Quinn. 11, Riverboat Ron. 12, Bruce Arians. Oh, cussing Bruce Arians.
I wanted to put Gruden in my list, but I haven't seen enough of Gruden. I wasn't really paying attention back when he was with Tampa Bay that much. And I mean, I know he did decent with them, but the Raiders were so bad last year. I couldn't.
Loved running into Rocky Felker at the golf tournament, and I don't know if they coached together on an NFL staff, but I asked him, I said, Bruce Arians, can he say good morning without cussing? He goes, no. And he said he can't help it. He said he really
good
can't.
leaping morning.
I mean, just anything. That's why last year when he did TV, I thought, no way he makes it through the year without a big incident. And I never heard of one. It was never any report of quick on the dump.
I think Drew's about to start cussing at me here in a second because of my list, if he could.
Well, he can't. but he controls his mic. I mean, we can't dump him in here. Well, I guess I could, can't I?
No, I think I can only dump myself.
I think so, yeah. I don't know. We got this one,
but
too.
I can turn my mic off and cuss you through the glass without it going through the mic.
So
it might come through this one.
So one day Grant Milner's in with me, and I have that head cold from you know where. I'm sneezing and coughing and trying not to in the microphone, and I think I'm hitting the cough button to blow my nose and sneeze, and I kept hitting it. It was retraining the dump button, and Bash finally said, "Man, we're like 10 minutes late out here. You've hit the dump button so many times. Quit hitting that button." I didn't know which one I was hitting. So
somebody texted in and said it cost him about $1,300 with parking for Bama season tickets.
Okay, so 7 into that.
Not terrible,
not terribly unreasonable. But then you get into
but $1,300 for me is a lot.
Then you get into with 100 miles of small college town and the 2-night jive on the hotel room. And I don't know how the administration, I don't know how the universities can go to private businesses and control what they charge for a hotel rate. I mean, you can't be mad at Alabama or Tennessee for the hotel motel prices in Knoxville.
Well, you could go to some of them and say, hey, if you lower rates on game days for season ticket holders, they show a card or something, then you get the tile. We'll make you the official season ticket holder hotel at UT or something like that.
Yeah, and then they tell you about supply and demand. And it's almost like it's the old-fashioned supply and demand is really working. That old-fashioned market capitalism is working with people saying, I've hit a choke point. I can't afford this anymore. It's almost like it works. Supply and demand.
It certainly does.
It usually does.
And if people are going to pay it, they're going to keep charging.
And there's usually a reaction on the other end. Only thing I'm scared of, and I've said this, I've warned about this, I've seen it happen with my friends. Once you start not going, when you quit, it's hard to get them back. When they get used to the 6 games at home and all the food and all the good stuff, then it happens.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it anymore, honestly. It's just it's gotten so crazy.
The day that I quit budgeting it out for my year to year is when they probably lose me, because every January I sit out and do an estimated budget, and I budget so much.
Important to you?
So much for September, October, November, December for it. The day I don't add that in is be the day that they lose me.
And the really insulting thing about, and again, the universities, they can't control the hotel rates. But when you're staying at, pick your SEC, pick your college town. When you're staying at that hotel in those college towns with the 2-night minimum, and it's going for $354, and you know on a Tuesday night in June you can get the same room for $85.
Yeah, it's a joke.
You're going, come on, man. We don't let gas people gouge you like this.
It won't, and it probably won't be long if they might start catching on.
And then you go to a Final Four, and you have the 4-night minimum: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tiger fans, you better start budgeting now for that come springtime, and you know it through the years. You go to that Final Four city. I went to San Antonio 2 years ago, and they don't care when you check out, but you're paying for 4 nights.
Yeah. Well, Bash has probably got an extra spare bedroom for me, right?
Give him a call. Bash is going to get a lot of calls, isn't he?
That's the thing. Drew's talking about budgeting it in. It's almost to the point right now where I can't. I have to be very selective where I go, what games I can go to.
I couldn't not working. I couldn't do it. I don't know that I would want to do it because I have done it. But young guys like you that want the next 25, 30 years of enjoying the college football experience that I've been lucky enough to enjoy, I want y'all to have it. And I'm scared that a lot of people are going to tap out.
Yeah.
Austin, for me, it's honestly not as hard as you would think to budget it out week to week. I know you and Greg and Eli like to get on for me eating my ramen every day. That's my college football money. That's my bowl game money. It's saving money by eating that every day.
And it showed up missing yesterday.
It did. There is an internal investigation going on. Somebody will be charged. I am pressing charges.
That needs to go in front of the Standard and Practice Committee. We take this final break. When we come back, we wrap it up with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Austin Eldridge in today. We've had a good time. We wrap it up strong next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. It is that time of year where the weather is unpredictable, and given the recent storms, it's a good time to discuss insurance claims. So here's a few things you should know. Always hire a local contractor, because if you have a problem with your roof down the road, you want to be able to find him. Never allow anyone to pressure you into signing a contingency contract. They're used as sales tools, making you feel committed, and the truth is, those contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. Be careful of door-knocking salesmen. Some are reputable, but many are not. They canvass the neighborhood and tell everyone to file a claim, working their percentages and not caring if you file a claim even when they know the likelihood of it being approved is low. Some will even damage your roof hoping to convince the adjuster it's storm damage. That's fraud, and contractors have gone to jail for that. So do your research and know who you're hiring. Five-Ash Roofing, the official roof of the University of Memphis Athletic Department. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving, built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brett Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, then we hit fame. We beat with the deal, we get insane.
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You can feel the excitement. You are looking live.
It's crunch time.
Someone call someone, because there's a cleanup on aisle 3 as a man is down.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
We'll take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part. Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
It's crunch time, so I got a different mind state.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
You throw those ears for him, and he was in stroke mode.
This is stupid.
It's obviously crunch time.
It's time for Taco Bell Crunch Time, brought to you every day by Taco Bell, home of the Crunch Wrap, including the Crunch Wrap Supreme, a warm, soft flour tortilla that's filled with seasoned beef and jam-packed with warm nacho cheese sauce, with a crunchy tostada shell with sour cream, lettuce, and tomato. Then it's all wrapped up and grilled. It will fill up your stomach. It will fit in your hand, but it won't take a lot out of your wallet. Perfect on your way home tonight. The Crunch Wrap Supreme. You can only get it. Taco Bell. Taco Bell is home of the Crunch Wrap, and each and every afternoon they bring us Taco Bell Crunch Time. Austin, what'd you learn today?
Well, I just learned this, actually. Kevin Durant did his first interview since he ruptured his Achilles tendon in Game 5 of the Finals, and he said he does not hold the Golden State Warriors accountable for his injury. He said, heck no, how can you blame the Warriors? I heard the Warriors pressured me into getting back. Nobody ever said a word to me during rehab as I was coming back. It was only me and my trainer, Rick Celebrini, working out every day. Right when the series started, I targeted Game 5. It just happened. It's basketball. Stuff happens. Nobody was responsible for it. It was just the game. We need to move on from that blank because I'm going to be back playing.
No way they made him play. I'm glad he said that. I learned today that the NFL and the NFL Players Association, they've met over the last 2 days. No breakthroughs yet, and a deal remains unlikely before the season. I will be very surprised if it's not a lockout or a strike of some sort before the 2021 season. It's been just too much huffing and puffing from DeMaurice Smith and the Players Association for just a simple deal. They want some of the power back they gave to Goodell last time, and they want more money, and I don't blame them for either.
Blame them for either.
But negotiations are what they are. What is you could have done without today?
I hate to say this because I was a supporter of him for a little while. I believe in second chances, but Josh Gordon has reapplied for reinstatement yet again in the NFL, and at some point, you just have to. I don't know. The guy needs help.
When you burn the Patriots, that's kind of the last chance.
Yeah, and he's had multiple chances at this point, and unfortunately for him, I think he needs to focus his life on figuring out what he needs to do to have this problem with drugs go away, and I don't think that he needs to be rewarded by getting back in the NFL.
I think for me, I could have done without, not as much today, but into the weekend. I'm going to enjoy the Northern Trust, the first leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs, but this would have been PGA time. It was last year. We were at Belle Reve at this point last year, and it was a lot of fun. We knew that was it for it. It was going to May, but it still made me a little nostalgic and missed it a little bit. What are you keeping a close eye on tonight?
Well, I'm keeping a close eye on some baseball tonight. Important matchup for the Cardinals' sake is Milwaukee and Pittsburgh as far as the wild card goes. The Yankees and Drew's Orioles going at it tonight. I don't know if that one's going to work out too well for Baltimore, but you never know. So that game's going to be important for the Cardinals, and I'll be keeping an eye on the Northern Trust this weekend as well.
The NFL and college football for camp news tonight. Right now, no news is good news. You don't want any injuries, and you don't want any disgruntled players. That transfer portal, man, that thing stays open all the time, doesn't it?
It sure does.
24/7. It never closes.
It's like the internet. It's always going.
It's always there. Keep an eye on Zeke's contract status, Ezekiel Elliott's contract status with the Cowboys, and on the eve of the Jets and Giants. You think Sam Darnold and Eli Manning are nervous tonight? Because they're not going to play it down tomorrow night, are they? No way either one of them, they will see the field. Only 4 baseball games tonight. Yankees onslaught over the O's. It will continue. I'm sorry, Drew. Drew Pomeranz on the mound for the Brewers, already with his 6th team.
Poor Drew.
Did you see 6 teams coming for Drew Pomeranz this early in his career?
No, I honestly, I thought he was going to have a pretty steady career.
I did too.
But it just hadn't worked out that way for him.
46 and 57 so far in his career.
He's a good pitcher.
Really,
he's just got to find the right fit.
He's got to find the right fit, and he's been at a lot of places. It hadn't been injury and hadn't been attitude. It's just been they've dealt him a lot. He's on the mound tonight for the Brewers in that game you mentioned that you're going to keep eye on. Red Sox are done. I say good. Phillies at Arizona tonight.
That's an important one for the Cardinals.
Important for the Phillies in wild card, and maybe Arizona. They're back to 500. Look, if you're at 500, you're kind of in it, aren't you?
I mean, look at the Mets. They're a prime example.
And get on that one torrid stretch that they're on for sure. The Rockies did it a few years ago, a very, very celebrated 21 out of 22 stretch. They got on. That was even in September. That'll sure carry you a long way.
It sure will.
Austin, always fun. Thank you.
Enjoyed it very much. Thank you both for letting me tag along today. I really enjoyed it.
And now you're completely embroiled in the Dave scandal. I dragged you in.
I have been unintentionally involved now in this investigation.
We'll do it again tomorrow. Dave will be back in with us again. Thank you very much, Austin. Drew, thank you for the good job, and thank you to all the people that listened, text, called, tweeted, Periscope, Instagram, YouTubed, and Twitter today. All that. We appreciate you very, very much.
You said Twitter twice.
Did
you said
I?
Tweeted and Twittered.
Well, I'm old.
That's okay.
That's why I did it, because I still really don't know what some of it is, but I'm glad we're doing it, and I'm glad we can be available for you. Wherever you are, however you're listening, we appreciate it very much. We'll do it again tomorrow. Dave will be back in. We'll be here at 3 o'clock on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Have you ever noticed your air conditioning system never breaks down at a good time? We know at Conway Services the timing's not always right to replace your air conditioning systems. That's why we have financing options available. Right now, during the dog days of summer, get your new Carrier air conditioning system for as low as $99 per month. That's right, Conway Services has new Carrier air conditioning systems as low as $99 per month. Now, you could do that. Plus, your new air conditioning system comes with a 10-year parts warranty, a free Nest thermostat, And with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Hey, Mid-South hunters and fishermen, the Duck, Buck, and Bass Sportsman Expo is coming to the Agri Center in Memphis August 9th through the 11th. Now, Friday is happy hour with beer and brats. Saturday and Sunday see special guest T-Bone from the hit TV show Bone Collector. Also see Frank Addington and his amazing archery show on stage all weekend. Watch Frank hit an aspirin as it's thrown in the air while shooting his bow behind his back. Plus, there's door prizes and giveaways all weekend. Win a $250 shopping spree to Final Flight Outfitters or a trail camera that sends text photos from Sniper Hunting Products. There is also a 3-day hunt of a lifetime from Trophy Club Outfitter of Indiana and a family 4-pack to the Talladega Speedway. And be sure to see the Sherp. It's the most ultimate ATV ever created, and they say that it's never been stuck. It's the Duck, Buck, and Bass Sportsman's Expo, August 9th through the 11th at the Agri Center in Memphis. Go to duckbuckandbassexpo.com for all the info. And remember, hunting and fishing, it's who we are.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Fox Sports trending now.
A potluck of matinee baseball games taking place today. The Dodgers turn it on in the 9th against the Cardinals.
2-2 to Martin. Ground ball up the middle. Into center field for a base hit. Here comes Seager, and here comes Smith. And the Dodgers have won it again in the bottom of the 9th.
LA wins it 2-1. The Dodgers tote 10 walk-off W's this season. AM 570, LA Sports with a call on the Dodgers radio network. The Giants biffed their 9th inning comeback chances, losing 4-1 to the Nationals. Hey, has your check engine light come on recently? Then check out the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help you troubleshoot the likely cause. Get in the zone. AutoZone. The Mets, once a directionless bunch, have won 13 of 14 after mutilating the Marlins 7-2. Pete Alonso clocked his 37th homer. I'm Brian Fenley.
We are Fox Sports. Do you know who this is? Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple. One guy's married. One guy is divorced. One guy has no kids. One guy has 2 beautiful daughters. One guy went to college in a cornfield in Ohio. One guy went to an Ivy League school in the big city. One guy spends his Sunday morning seated in the pew.
Does this seem weird to anybody else?
The other spends it throwing money at the pole. Can these 2 sports writers share a radio show without driving each other crazy? From the Geico studios of Fox Sports Radio, with Chris and Rob out, here's Jonas Knox and Jason McIntyre.
It is the Odd Couple here on Fox Sports Radio. Jonas Knox, Jason McIntyre in for Rob and Chris here on FSR. And I feel like I can't do the "aw yeah" that Chris Broussard does because neither one of them is here, and I feel like we'd be kind of mowing somebody else's lawn. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how appropriate that would be if we use their catchphrase. It's like a professional wrestler stealing another wrestler's finishing move. I just don't know.
Rob Parker.
Yeah, he's not here, so I don't know whether or not we should still do some of the same bits. Do you have a Chris Broussard impression? Because I've got a good Rob Parker.
Let's hear the Rob Parker.
Oh, come on, Jason's wife is saying he's the Wahot, the worst host of all time.
Did you just come up with that on the fly?
Yeah,
that is impressive.
My acronyms have gotten a lot better working with Rob Parker.
Yeah,
that nut job.
I thought you were going to go after Steph Curry or Tom Brady.
No.
You know, Rob Parker tends to go after superstars who you don't need to go after, Rob. But,
listen,
he's probably listening.
While everybody else is zigging, he zags. That's just the way he does it.
I taught him that, you know. I did.
That's the move. Now, Jason McIntyre, I know you happened to see Hard Knocks last night, correct?
Incorrect. I did not see it. Jonas, I'm horrible. I'm such a bad person. I was on vacation last week. I know you guys follow me on Instagram, so I was doing all the vacation IG garbage. And I get back, and I'm still a little in vacation mode, but I'm reading up on the NFL. And I played basketball yesterday, and I missed it.
Hold on a second. So because you gave it out, where can people follow along your vacations?
Oh, just the normal,
on Instagram?
Jason R. McIntyre. I'm sure. I'm not a huge deal on Instagram. I got late to the game,
Yeah.
Because I had young kids. I'm like, I don't want to put their faces on Instagram.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I've only been doing it for a couple years, but it's a lot of fun. I leave the personal stuff off Twitter. Twitter is a cesspool.
Oh, it's disgusting.
And just the rotten human beings out there. So I don't need them seeing what I'm doing in my free time.
Yeah.
I'm not Clay Travis out here professing to be a millionaire with multiple houses like my buddy Clay Travis. But yeah, no, I do a little vacation stuff. I do a lot of sports stuff on there, playing basketball. I played some tennis, soccer, try to stay active. I do some stuff from here. But yeah, so like a bad sports host, I played basketball yesterday. Had a great run, and I missed Hard Knocks. Now, I do have it on the DVR. I'll check it out probably this evening.
Okay.
After I watch 90210.
Oh, okay. Well, that's listen.
I don't want to take us off track too early.
No, listen.
Why are you laughing?
Hey, look.
Why are we getting laughs on 90210, one of the greatest shows in the history of television?
Well, that show stinks. But that, I mean, listen.
Tonight is the debut of the new reboot.
Look, if you want a real
Jonas,
show,
time out.
Jersey Shore.
Jonas, do you really think that the original 90210 was terrible?
Awful.
Oh!
I was never into it. Never into the original
Luke Perry, R.I.P., Brandon Walsh.
Not my thing. Yeah, I was never into it. Listen, I'm more of a down to earth. I like real TV. Okay, I'm more like Jersey Shore. I want real TV with real people and real emotions.
You guys can't see at home, but he has the air quotes up for real because everything on Jersey Shore is scripted. Total trash. Now I don't know how much of Hard Knocks is scripted, but I will say this. I'm not a big John Gruden guy. He's got a lot of sycophants in the media, people who love him, and he could do no wrong.
He's
and
also
he's
got a lot of haters, though. He does. Yeah, I feel like he's in a spot to where no matter what he does, it's going to get some criticism. Anything that he does is going to get criticism based on who he is. He's boisterous. There's a lot of noise around him, and I feel like people were waiting to pounce on him last year, and they got a lot of grief last year. They weren't a good football team.
They were terrible.
And they were not good at all, but I feel like people are not really wanting to give him any slack or give him credit, even for the Super Bowl that he won in Tampa Bay, the easy go-to as well. That was Tony Dungy's players.
Yeah, and what did he do after the Super Bowl year?
Okay, but why
didn't he melted down? He was awful.
Why didn't Tony Dungy win a Super Bowl with those guys? It's the same.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
It's the same thing people did with Chip Kelly, because Chip Kelly went at it a different way. And when Chip Kelly got to Philadelphia, he went 10-6, and the Eagles won the division.
Was that with Nick Foles?
Yeah, with Nick Foles, the 27-2 year. And everyone said, yeah, but he did that with Andy Reid's players. Oh, you mean Andy Reid's players that were 4-12 the year before? Get out of here, man. Like, people pick and choose how they want to approach certain coaches and certain players. And I feel like Gruden's one of those guys who's going to get a lot of love, to your point. A lot of people are going to ball wash him, and then there's going to be a lot of hate thrown at him.
Right. I don't remember, but did Dungy's team the year before Gruden took over, they were pretty good, right? I think they were a playoff team.
They were good for a while.
It was just that they couldn't get over the hump.
Right,
and sometimes you need that, similar to Mark Jackson with the Warriors, right?
Yep.
Very good coach. And then Kirk comes in, makes one little change with the Draymond Green,
100%.
very fortuitous, and they go on to a dynasty. But I personally think Gruden's going to be a massive failure with the Raiders. I think the only reason he's there is because of the move to Vegas coming up. Right? I think we can agree they need a splashy name to enter Las Vegas, and here's Gruden. But I'm telling you, and we'll get to Antonio Brown soon. This latest stuff from Antonio Brown is a total clown show.
Oh, it's great.
I mean, you pay him all this money, and now we don't know if he's going to be around for week one.
Let me tell you something. Some guy walking around with a ham sandwich on his feet is a gift from the radio gods to us in early August. I can't get enough of it.
And I do want to remind folks, the John Gruden fanboys out there, both of you, after they won the Super Bowl, John Gruden turned off like everybody in Tampa. Him and Keyshawn Johnson went at it. Him and Joey Galloway. Chris Sims. I mean, Chris Sims was like, Gruden tried to run me out of town at the lowest point of my career after a near career-ending injury. John Gruden is a bit of a psychopath.
Yeah.
I don't know him personally. He's
not
fine
reckless.
in the booth.
I mean, not reckless. Psychopath, a little bit personal.
I mean, listen, at some point, Jonas, like we all have foundational values in life. Honesty.
Yes.
Right? I want to be honest with people. And I try not to get angry anymore. I'm not as young as I used to be. Dude, when I was in my 20s, I would get angry quick. When I'm a young guy, it didn't really matter. Life was totally different. I would get angry quickly. Why am I not moving ahead in my career fast enough? Why are you not driving fast enough?
That's that East Coast in you.
It is the East Coast.
Very violent.
And I will say, I will say this. I've never been in a fight in my life, but I used to get angry. I don't get angry anymore. I mean, maybe it's having the kids, but I've toned down my anger. And John Gruden is, 50?
Yeah.
And he's still seething in anger 24/7.
He feels, though, the TV stuff did a weird thing to him because he feels it, and you watched last night, and we have a little bit of John Gruden last night on Hard Knocks. He feels like, yes, there's still that bite, that P&V, if you want to call it, but that he has sort of taken more of a polished approach. Here was Gruden last night on HBO.
Everybody right now has dreams, don't they, guys? I said it to the rookies, all right? Everybody in the NFL, I have a dream of making it in the NFL. I got a dream of winning a Super Bowl. I got a dream of being in a Pro Bowl. I'm really not into dreams anymore, okay? I'm into nightmares. You guys with me on that? You got to end somebody's dream. You got to take their job. You got to take their heart. Are you guys clear about this NFL now? We're not trying to go to the Peach Bowl. We're not trying to go to the Gator Bowl or the Bluebonnet Bowl. We're trying to go to the Super Bowl, okay? And to do that, you got to really try to end somebody's dreams. Are you clear on that, Farrell? Okay? I mean that now. So get into that.
You know what? That got me fired. Round of applause for John Gruden. Thank Christ.
No,
I'm
not.
Round of applause.
Are you like that?
There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
How long did it take him, Jonas? How long did it take him to write that? Because it's going to be perfectly crafted for Hard Knocks, and it'll go viral.
Listen,
and radio hosts will clap.
Listen, some people like 90210. Some people like Hard Knocks. I'm more of a Hard Knocks guy, and it's got nothing to do with my last name. All right, not a play on words here. But John Gruden delivered the speech of the season so far, and that's because the season is one game in.
How inauthentic was that, though? It did feel so fake. I mean, it's so scripted. It's like, dude, get out of here with this garbage.
Of course.
You know, I mean, you think Bill Belichick's making dumb-ass speeches like that for the Patriots? And I know that's the greatest coach in NFL history. But I just don't want to hear that nonsense.
Well,
I'm not running through a wall for you, bro.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. If you watch the other parts of the show, you'll see that guys, a lot of them didn't really take him all that serious. I don't know that players look at him as this, puts the fear of God inside guys to where they've got to act a certain way, because he even had, one of the young players, the safety, Abrams, who was talking back to him a little bit when he was trying to tell him, hey, we need you to lay off on the hitting, and we want to keep our guys up. Don't crash into some of our own players and all that. And he was getting a little bit of pushback there. So I have no idea how this is going to play out. But to your point, and you said it earlier, he was brought there because of Vegas. Right. I mean, and because of Vegas and because of the deal, John Gruden's going to get a little bit of it's going to buy him some time. Mike McCoy got an extra year with the Chargers because the Chargers were in the middle of a move, and they didn't want to just all of a sudden fire a coach and figure it out. Jeff Fisher got an extra year with the Rams because it was after the move that they finally decided, okay, let's make sure we got everything together here, and then if we want to think long term, we think long term. I think they're totally happy with Gruden. I think if Gruden, is just slightly above 500 and doesn't deliver a Super Bowl, I think they're good with it. He's going to get him to Vegas. He's a Raider. He's all about the past and the history of the Raiders, and I think Davis is going to be all right with that.
Well said. Very well said. I think Gruden will stick around. Obviously, they're paying him $10 million a year. But ultimately, if he's not winning, and I don't think there's a path to victory for them this year. I know you're big on gambling, right? You do the gambling show with RJ. I host a gambling podcast for FS1 called Coming Up Winners, and I'll tell you this right now. What's the over-under on wins for the Raiders? Is it 6.5?
6.5.
Yeah, there's no way I'm taking the over.
Really?
First of all, the Chiefs and the Chargers in that division are very good. I think the Broncos will be better than the Raiders. I don't see a path to 6 wins. I would definitely pound the under. And I'm telling you, this Antonio Brown thing, if this coach continues to go sideways, and he's not there, or there's an extended absence, where's that offense? Is it you going to lean on Josh Jacobs, the rookie running back, who I love? Right. I wanted the Jets to get him. But I don't. That offensive line is a bit of a mess.
It's all about what do you consider a success. If you think John Gruden winning a Super Bowl is the only the only qualifier that would be considered a success in Oakland for the Raiders / Las Vegas, then I think that the expectations are a bit much. I think him getting the organization back to a place to where they're respected and talked about, more importantly than anything else.
Buzz.
Create the buzz, much like you can say whatever you want about the Dallas Cowboys. They've won 3 playoff games in 30 years and blah, all that stuff. But when Forbes comes out with their most, the richest organizations out there, worth the most, the Dallas Cowboys are always number 1. And so Jerry Jones, although he wants that Super Bowl, he loves the idea of being able to be the most valuable franchise in sports. And that comes with not a lot of wins, not a lot of playoff wins, and 0 Super Bowls in a long time. So I think if you measure success by, hey, are we getting talked about? Is there buzz back in the organization? I think Gruden's the guy to bring it.
So
I'm
trying to look at the standings. The internet's down here. So I'm looking at 2018. How many wins did the Raiders have last year?
What were they 4-12?
Okay.
4-12?
So,
how about that?
Okay, so let's say they go 5-11 this year.
Yeah. It's baby steps.
At what point does buzz versus massive futility and top 5 picks, at what point does that outweigh the buzz that you're getting on John Gruden?
Well, they're gonna buy him some time, because if he goes to Vegas, they're gonna say, listen, brand new city, just got here, give it a couple of years. And next thing you know, we're looking at 5, 6, 7 wins, and we're like 5 years into the John Gruden experience. And all it takes is one successful season. You can stick around for a while. Look at Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher stuck around for one successful season when he got to a Super Bowl.
P.S. Where's Jeff Fisher right now? I just saw him at a car wash over here on the Brea Boulevard.
Oh, no kidding.
He works there.
Yeah.
He works. He's
does
employed.
He really? That's amazing.
I mean, this guy, Jeff Fisher, he's never working again in the NFL. Like, it's done. He was that bad. I mean, Jared Goff, remember the first 6 or 7 starts for Jared Goff? It was like, whoa, what a bust. And now Jared Goff is like about to get paid big time. He's dating an Instagram model. Like, he's leading the Rams to the Super Bowl. Jeff Fisher can't really coach. He's just not built for right now. I don't know if John Gruden is.
Jared Goff he didn't even dress up. He didn't even dress for the first game of his NFL career. Think about that. Number 1 pick overall, and he didn't even suit up.
Who did Jeff Fisher start that year?
Case Keenum.
Oh!
Yeah.
You mean you actually have people who listen to this show?
So there's that. All right, he's Jason McIntyre. I am Jonas Knox, in for Rob Parker and Chris Broussard. This is the Odd Couple here on Fox Sports Radio. Now, Jason and I are very, very much against calls, okay? But we know Rob and Chris love to hear from you guys, and it's not that we think that we're better than you.
We are better than them. We're